What's going on, Dean?
Hello.
What is going on, my dude? What do you use to clean your screen? It's a weird question, but I realized I've been sneezing on my screen for the last 3 weeks, and it looks like shit. So,
I mean, it's only during the winter time that the light comes through the window. So
yeah.
This is the only time I notice that my screen is dirty. Every other day of the year is like, oh, my screen is fine. I don't notice anything. But now during winter, I can see all those little specks of dandruff.
Yeah. Dean, did I tell you the podcast got sponsored?
Oh, damn. By who?
Energy drink. Bucked up. Yeah.
Just take a slurp of that.
Yeah. Bucked up. Yeah. But yeah, I figured I was like, because I was looking at sponsors and I was like, man, the language in this podcast is not okay. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get a sponsor. And then I saw Bucked Up, and I was like, okay, well, there's a corporate entity whose literal legal name is one letter off from fucked up. And I was like, hey, will you guys sponsor me? And they're like, yeah, here's a coupon code. Use TPC 20. So that is now a thing. TPC 20. You can get 20% off your order at Bucked Up. They sell a bunch of stuff, except they don't sell cars and guns. So if that's what you're looking for, they don't have that. But yeah, dude. So for anyone that doesn't know, you are the co-founder of our FunnerHistory with me. You were member number 2. You were poster number 2. And yeah, I've had other people ask me I've had other contributors ask hey, can I be a mod? And I've been like, hey man, I appreciate your contributions, but it's like, well, how'd the other guy become a mod? I was like, because it was just me and him. You can go back to the first post you made. It's like
what? It was back in March or something.
Yeah, it's the whales.
It's almost been a year actually.
Yeah, I think it's the whales in New York City. The aeronauts. They're
no, the first one I pictured was a bunch of XB-19s put into service in World War II. It was I just searched up just some fictional aircraft the XB-19, the XP-55, and some other weird German plane that looks like the XP-55. It was kind of like a German knockoff. I don't know what it was. But that was my first post. The next post were all of it. I made it during school time instead of instead of at home. Nowadays I all make it at home. It's all homemade. I literally just made one right now.
Yeah.
But it used to be all at school because my PE teacher had a half and half. We would do computers half of the time. The other half of the time we would do physical activity. Really weird, but I was fine with it.
Yeah.
But we learned how to use Photoshop, which what do you expect me to do? Not to make alternate history?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was finished with all the work, I would just make some crazy shit a picture from the Operation High Jump, but actually putting in UFOs and stuff. That was one of my favorites from a while back. The whale, that one took a while because I had to make the whale look like it was coming out of the cloud.
Yeah, no, that was because I remember I hadn't been on in a week. I think I was working because for FunnerHistory, the first one was July or August 2017, and yeah, I've been posting them on Air Force. And after a while, someone was like, stop. At first they liked them, and then they were like, stop posting here. Go away. And I was like, fuck you all. All right. I'll make my own sub. And it was just me. And I was posting and upvoting myself. And I remember people would be like, this is really sad, dude. And I was like, fuck you. And then,
once you cross-posted to Weir Wings, I see the B-46. I was just like, that looks cool. I'm going to go check that out. I see FunnerHistory. I'm just like, my place has arrived.
The harp plays, and it's like, this is what I'm here for. This is what the creator made me for.
This is what God intended me to do.
Yeah, I understand now. Yeah, it's like you become Gandalf the White. You just you go to.
I just knew as soon as I see this, it's like Photoshops. I used to make Photoshops. Alternate history, hell yes.
Yeah. And I remember because you posted, and I remember coming back, and I was like, I was just looking at it because it was just me. I'd make like some alternative accounts and I'd like upvote my own stuff. But I realized I was like, okay, every post has exactly 3 upvotes. So I was like, this is just sad. It was like, this is sad. And I came back and I remember I saw one and I was like, did I make that? Like was I drunk? And I was like, because I don't remember. And I was like, and I clicked and I was like, who the fuck is this? And I was like, but you can literally go back and find. I mean, it's locked now because it's been Reddit locked.
Yeah,
180 days.
It's been in quotations archived.
Yeah, it's been 180 days. Yeah, but if you go back to it, it's just like all caps, and it's like, oh my god, I'm so happy someone else is here. And
like the first post, you were just like, oh, thank God, someone is doing something on my subreddit.
Yeah, it's probably like, oh shit, this guy's insane, and like, yeah, and then I think I sent links to like friends a couple times and they were like, oh, that's cool. And so I had some like pity subscribers from like my homies, like shout out Matt. And yeah, it got to like 7, 8, 9, 10. And I remember you and I would just message each other back and forth. We'd like screenshot the subscriber count and be like, 10, like we're in the big leagues now, motherfuckers. Like,
yeah, it was during summer last year.
Yeah.
When they, in quotations, the boom of everyone, like once we hit hot and then like everyone just went, oh, I'm going to check this out. Subscribe.
Yeah.
We were just like, why is the counter keep on going up?
Yeah.
And the worst part is I wasn't even at my house, so I couldn't make like a bunch of new stuff because I had to make all on my phone and stuff while I was in the car.
Yeah. I remember because like I think we got to like 100 quote unquote naturally. Like I think that's
and then everything just went straight up.
Yeah, I remember I was like, because I had like work that night or something. And I just remember it was like, because we'd like message each other back and forth. We'd be like, we got to 40. And like a month later, we got to 50. And it was just, and then like one day, like I remember like, I think it was like exactly at midnight because I had got back from work and I was like looking at it and it was like, we had 100 members, but there were 5,500 people online. I was like,
it was like, there was way more people online than there were members. Like there was 2 times of people online. They were all just checking out the weird stuff we were making.
It wasn't it was legitimately like 50 times. Like for every member, there was 50 people. It was because we had 100. It was at 5,000. I can't math.
Yeah.
But I was like, did you? Because I think we had just started to discover cross posting. We were like,
we were actually just starting cross posting.
We were like, okay,
we were just kind of putting that Lockheed CL 1201.
Everywhere. Yeah, the fuck yeah.
And then suddenly this just giant influx of people just started flooding in, and I'm like, how did our post do so well? This is impossible.
Yeah.
Like I'm like checking the post that I did and there's like it's sitting at 10 upvotes. There's like seems like it's not doing anything, but there's like maybe 1 minute there's like 5 people joining. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I remember I was like, Dean, what the fuck happened? I was like, where'd you cross post? You're like, I don't know. I was like, I cross posted to like Ace Combat because I just finished it and I was like the CL 1201 kind of like went in line with it. And you're like, I don't know what happened. And I was like, me neither. And I was thinking like, wow. And so I literally went to like our all. I was like, it has to be somewhere big. And finally, we made a post, and we were because I think you made a post the day prior. It was like, we broke 100 subscribers, and then someone commented. They're like,
one that says thank you for 1K members.
No, it was before that
subreddit.
It was before it trended because I remember someone commented on that. They were like, you guys are at 1,000 now, and we were like, wait, what? And we were like, how is this happening? And finally someone commented.
Once we hit 1,000 members, I put a message post saying, "Thanks, guys, for joining our subreddit." And then someone commented, "I just you guys are like at 40K," and you commented like something like, "How is this possible?" And he's like, "You were on the trending tab."
Yeah, we were like, "Oh shit, okay." Yeah, and we were just like, "What the hell is going on?" And and then like right at midnight the following night, like literally 11:59, it like cut off like a faucet, just like the people online went down to 200, but now I think we had 9,000 subscribers, and we were like,
it's 19.2K.
No. I'm talking the first time it trended. We were like, it stayed there. We were like, okay, that's weird. And then it was still just us for a while. Occasionally, someone else would post, and it was this past December 23rd. I remember I like woke up one day and I like looked at it. It was the same. So now we had 10K members, but it was like 25,000 online. I was like, oh shit. I was like, Dean, it's happening again. You were like, oh god. And I was like, oh no. And like, I just remember I started posting stuff and it'd be up for like a minute and there'd be like 300 upvotes. I was like, oh Jesus Christ. Like, because I thought you're not allowed to trend more than once. So I was thinking like we're about to get banned. Because I was like, if you play like the trending algorithm, if you try to like hack it, you'll get banned from Reddit. But I was like, I don't know how to we just post photoshops. Shit's happening. I don't know.
Just making people happy with alternate history. How do we get banned for just doing that?
Yeah, and I was like, someone was like, you guys are trending twice in 6 months. They're like, how did you do that? And I was like, dude, I have no idea. Like, I was like, look at the top post. Like, the top post is just like, it's like a pyramid on the moon. Like, there's no logic here. We're not trying to, and it got up. Yeah, man. So, yeah.
I guess also the main problem that it was kind of discouraging was, I don't know what happened. I think it might have been the U-FunnerHistory account, but I think it got hacked or something causing people get like their post getting removed as spam.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Me neither.
It's just I was checking.
I still don't know.
I was checking the mod queue one day, and there's like 15 other posts that are like perfect quality of FunnerHistory, and they're removed, and I'm just like, the hell happened?
Yeah, you're like, Tommy, did you remove this? And I was like, no. Like, did you? Like, because if you go and look, like, there is a lot of spam removed automatically that we don't even remove. And it's like, that's good. Because it'll be like, it'll be like 9999917, use Amazon gift card. And it's like, it's like written indie
spam because, bots still exist. We can't get rid of them.
Yeah, it's it's some Indian guy. And it's like, use my code now. And it's just like, okay, that's good that's knocked out. But somewhere, yeet! But like somewhere in there, there was like a couple legit posts.
Yeah, like if you saw like
space shuttle
once
on
I started adding all the posts, that giant boat with like the cranes on it,
the
space shuttle on the Saturn V, I was just like, this is awesome.
Yeah. I messaged that guy. I was like, I am so sorry, because I was like, not only was it like a FunnerHistory post, and you shouldn't give. It was like, it's one of my favorites, the space shuttle on the Saturn V. I was like, dude, that's awesome. So yeah, but I think we have a decent number of like unique contributors now, right? And when I say decent, I mean like more than you and I. Like, so if it's five,
I definitely see some other posters. Like recently, there was
let's give him give him a shout
F-19 Spectre stealth fighter. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's let's see.
It's Northrop Laurel F-19. It's like a ad for the fictional F-19 fighter jet.
That's
and it's really interesting.
Yeah, user Frozen Seas. Shout out Frozen Seas, and the other one is Papa NBLIN. Pop and Blin. Yeah, nice. Pop and Blin. Shout out Pop and Blin. And Fear Warfare. Yeah, he did that. He did the stealth.
Oh yeah. That was also removed as well, so I just added it. I was just like, oh hell yeah, stealth F-22, just sign me up. Bro.
Yeah, there are some really dope things that get removed. So shout out to them. Thank you so much for fucking contributing, because it's the same excitement when you like it's fun to get the subscriber number up, like that's fun, but ultimately like there is no like real like it's like getting like it's Reddit karma. It's like there's no real it's fun to build for the sake of building. But when other people contribute, it like adds to the lore of like it's beginning its own universe, because that's I mean, like, all cheesiness aside, that's really what it is. It's like for fun. The whole thing is just have fun. It's when you post something to some aviation or Weird Wings and they're like, that's not real, you can't post it. It's FunnerHistory is like the Statue of Liberty. It's like give me your week, you're downtrodden, you're tired, like we'll take you out. We'll take your shit post.
I am open for your fictional aircraft. Just send them to the
Come on in. It's really the only rule is I'd say like no politics. Like
and no chip posting, because I've seen
there are some
before we were really lack on that, but I'm like nowadays I'm like, let's cut on that.
Yeah, there's a couple of shit posts that I think now would be labeled as shit posts, but I've allowed to stay because they're just brilliant. Like the
the
Viking
the
one.
Human space station.
Yeah.
That was labeled as a shitpost, but I thought, okay, this is just ingenious. Plus, this could be contributed as alternate history because you know how people just line up on carriers and make giant works. This could be something like that.
Yeah. It was also. It's also. That guy clearly made it.
Yeah.
And to me, even if it took him a minute on his phone or 30 minutes on his laptop or an hour, that's what I value is like people like giving their time and contributing to fun. Like, because no one gets anything. You and I, we don't get shit from this. There's nothing, we don't get anything from it. It's just fun to do. So if someone took their time to Photoshop that, I'm not going to be like, your Photoshop sucks, shit post, get out. Like, no, dude, like you're taking time out of your day to contribute to this weird subreddit. Like, sure, yeah, human space station, little weird, like, but fuck it, man, come on in. Like, yeah.
It's just a team building exercise or
exactly.
some sort of like promotion to say, yo, look, we're space.
Yeah, exactly. The other one was it was like Godzilla on like D-Day.
It was like a little Godzilla just right there on the beach.
That one was kind of shit posting, but again, like it was like the caption that made it hilarious. It was like he almost drowned. Yeah. It was like shell shock, and I was just like, okay, that's pretty hilarious.
He was like in a water full of sweat and blood.
It was like yeah. And there's another one that's the Viking one, where it's like they put
the Vikings on the bombers. Planes?
Yeah, I'm like that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, there's some that I've removed. There was like, it's
cat, and there was a cat on like the deck of a carrier.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm glad you iced it.
Removed. I didn't feel like that because like
no, it's
makes sense.
Yeah, no, and again, like if it's a shit post, but it's like someone clearly took a lot of time to make it, I'm much more hesitant to remove it again because it's like like you putting in some effort.
That cat one is made by some person on Instagram. It wasn't made by them.
Okay, well, fuck that guy. Yeah.
There's some of the other shit posts were just made by people that went to other subreddits or other sites and just stole their content. Some of them, yes, they did show their sources. Thank God. But still, if you're gonna make something, make your own. This place is mostly for making your own stuff.
Yeah, it is. And like you and I have done, and it's again, even back when it was just you and I, we've had a very strict thing from the beginning, and it's credit the artist. Yeah. Because, dude, there's nothing more. Remember that meme I made? You know, it was like the.
Oh yeah, it said this like the TVs in 1960.
No.
No,
wasn't
that one?
No, it wasn't that one. It was it's the I'm gonna end this whole man's career. Those like the rappers, you know, where they're screaming, but I made it like the painting, the scream. But instead it was the meme. I made that and I posted it on Dank Memes like a year ago. I got like 20,000 upvotes. That's like my best thing ever. I've seen that reposted since then get like twice as much, get awards, and there's no credit, and I'm like, you asshole. I'm like, I don't give a shit about the karma. I don't care about the awards. All
those meme sites have really gone down because it's just a chain of reposts. You go, you after like reading through Hot for like 10 minutes, you go to New, and it's just the same post again.
Yeah, but more than anything, it's just like that's an experience where I wasn't credited, and I was like, I don't want anything from it. It's like just give like. You know, I made it. I remember making that. I remember how much time it took to make that. So, like, when we post stuff where it's just always literally in the title, it's like, DeviantArt this, or on Instagram this. That one guy...
the other day on a PewDiePie submission, someone literally took this person's creation of a Lego thing relating to PewDiePie. It looks like it took them, like, 2-3 hours to make because they had to get all those blocks. And then, like... It was like made a year ago, and then like the other day it was just reposted. I was like, someone worked really hard to make that Lego set, and then you just decided, it's mine now.
Yeah, it's mine now. This is mine now.
It's just a really jerk move.
It is, and it's like that one guy that makes those 6 SpaceX like digital renderings. We had one posted the other day of the Cybertruck pulling the Starship. Oh yeah, that guy, Kimmy Talvidi.
The rocket, the rocket Cybertruck.
Yeah. That one too. Yeah, that's the artist on Instagram, Kimmy Talvidi, and that guy has sick shit. and I've posted his stuff again back when it was like before we even had 100 subscribers. It's always like Instagram, like and it's always like the sticky comment too. The top comment is like, "Here's the artist." So I saw that guy's rocket truck posted on Instagram, but it wasn't Kimmy Talvidi. It was some like Space Force account, right? And it had, and this is where it gets more serious, because whatever, it had like 300,000 likes, who cares? But that's an account where it's also, they're selling stuff in the bio. So it's like, now you're using someone else's work to promote your account, and you're selling something. And so I commented, I tagged the artist. It's like Kimmy Talvidi. You can go in and see the comment chain where this guy's like, "Hey, how come you didn't credit my work?" And the guy that found it's like, what? And I was like, "Credit his work, fuckhead." And he was like, "Watch your language." And the artist was like, "Don't tell him to watch your language." He's like, "Watch your plagiarism." And he's like, it went back and forth, and it was beautiful. I was like, "Kimmy, you dog.
You did it. You stopped the stealing.
You dog. Yeah, dude. People like that, it's like drawing a line in the sand in like military. Like, they have to be beat down. They have to be, a lesson needs to be made from them. Mm-hmm. Those fuckers gotta go. It's the same thing when people bring politics into our Funner history. I don't give a shit where you are in the spectrum. Funner history is for fun. I don't care.
We literally just made a 3-deck Air Force One.
Yeah. It's, and you can always see people like lean in, like, you know, it'll be like, here's the new beast, and it has like a rocket engine and like an M60 on it, and someone will be like, "Oh, I wonder if it's strong enough to carry stupid Trump," and I'll be like, "Dude, what? Just enjoy the fucking Photoshop." Or it'll be like a hypersonic Air Force One under Obama's administration, or
just like some military guys on the moon or something like that.
Yeah, and people will be like, "Oh, of course Obama made this," and I'll be like, "Dude, just stop tracking." It's literally like, don't track that shit in here. Like the rest of Reddit is destroyed by that.
There's entire subreddits just dedicated to politics. If you want to talk about politics, go there.
Well, not even that. Politics has seeped into every other subreddit, and it's just like, you and I have just drawn a very sharp line. Like,
we've drawn a line and made a giant barricade.
Yeah, it's literally, we drew a line in the sand, and we're turning it into a moat with the blood of the violators. Like, no, you assholes, no. Like I'm not up, no, banned. It's like that meme. It's like, you upvote, ban. You downvote, ban. You post nothing, ban. It's just like, you bring anything, ban. Out.
No
gone.
Fun allowed.
No fun. This is not Funner history in name only, assholes. This is a very strict place. Yeah, no, dude.
You better be posting some alternate history. You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. It's gonna be a badder history, assholes. Yeah, but my favorite is when and your posts are always the king of this, is when people are like, "God damn it, duped again." Where it's like, I thought this was...
I can, if I had $1 for every time someone said, "Is this real?" Mm-hmm. I could probably buy myself a new computer at this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's brilliant.
1,000 people that are just like, "Can you link to the site of where this is from? Can you what's the information on this?" I'm like, "Bruh, did you check the subreddit?" And they'll be like, "Dang it, I'm subscribed to all these aviation ones." Yeah. It gets me confused. Yeah. I'm saying to all the Funner historians that are out there, people that are joined on Funner History, the only way to tell the difference between our subreddit and other subreddits that post real photos is they usually put the dimensions of the image. We don't.
Yeah, that's true.
We let that be mystery.
Yeah,
I mostly have them by like 1,000 by 1,000.
Yeah.
I mostly have them above that because it's nice to have high quality.
Yeah.
But
yeah. A lot of I don't put, people are like, "You didn't put the dimensions in the image," and I'm like, what? Fuck off! It's a goddamn sphinx on the moon. Like,
it also just helps people just not recognize which is our stuff, because I feel like I don't want to go too far to make our stuff just unrecognizable. Yeah. Because like, I still want to do diversion tactics, as in, just put a picture of real things and just and claim it's fake.
That's my favorite.
But I don't want to go so far as into claim like everything is real. This is a real subreddit of real photos. Yeah. It's like, okay, it's a little too far.
Yeah. Plus, when you have to like post certain shit with certain brackets and you have to use flair, like, that steals from the subreddit, I think, because it's how many times have I know I have gone to a different subreddit and just posted something like legitimate OC artwork, and you'll post it and you'll be like, that, you know, contributed, and it's like, hopefully people enjoy this, and it'll be like, removed, you didn't put the pixels in brackets, and I'll be like, what? Why is it fucking who the fuck cares? It'll be like, you didn't use proper flare, or
why is it important to put the pixels in bracket, like the dimensions in a bracket?
Who the fuck cares? Like who cares? Like, it's, if
it can fit the screen of my phone, I do not care.
It's on there. It's who gives a shit. Yeah, and it's, yeah. So like, I feel when there's stuff like that, or be like, you didn't post it. You know, it's Photoshop Wednesdays only. And it's like, I'm not coming back, and like, you're not paying me. This is free work. I just, fuck you. I'm out. Like, yeah, on FunnerHistory, I love when people are like duped again. We're just like,
oh man, I didn't check the subreddit name. I thought this was real.
Yeah, or like, you're like, link please, link, and then
that's why I really want to go out and make like whole different websites and stuff,
fake websites,
just so like people are like, link please, and I'm like, here you go, here's a website that talks about this plane. They'll be like, oh sweet, look, is this real?
Yeah, and it's we've talked.
We'll go search up about it even more, and they'll be like, I've been had.
Yeah, dude. I mean, eventually we're gonna get hired by the CIA to do like disinfo. It's because I told you that one guy, I cross-posted one of my things to like, no, I think someone else cross-posted it to conspiracy, and then someone commented on it. They're like,
oh yeah.
Someone commented, they're like, I have a theory about that subreddit. They're like, it began as Air Force Photoshops, and then it moved to its own subreddit. I think it's an Air Force recruiter, because all they do is talk about like the coolest shit. And I remember commenting, and I was like, mind you, this is in conspiracy, so it's not like I have like the
There's too much.
Yeah, it's yeah. He must go. But it's like, I literally commented, I was like, as the founder of that subreddit, I'm flattered that you think I'm that smart. Like, but no, it's not. It's like, I think they're in cahoots with. They literally said, I think they're in cahoots with USAF recruiting. I think it's like a third party.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I mean, I wish.
I mean, dude, we're not above it. We're not above it
to get a job technically. So.
Yeah, we're not above it. Like, dude, like U.S. government, you're listening. Hey, pay us. We'll take it. Yeah. I don't give a shit. There's no like, we're not above it. It's not like, it's just the reality.
I mean, there's like 2-3 air bases near my house, so it makes sense.
Exactly. But yeah, when and the other thing is so like when we'll post real shit, because that's the fun, is like, you know, like that Lockheed Martin ship, the Sea Shadow.
Oh
like,
yeah.
That one looks like a goddamn FunnerHistory.
It looks like an F-117 that has skis and missiles.
Yes, it's a Nighthawk boat. But I remember posting it, and I didn't even make a fake like caption. I literally just like copied and pasted like what it was used for from Wikipedia. Like, this is for inserting troops in like, you know, northern like Russian ports or something.
Yeah.
And someone commented, they're like, you're like, oh, this is sick. And someone's like, wait, I thought this was real. And I was like, it is. Like, well, what? And I was like, well, that's the catch, is we put in real shit.
Yeah, so like now, 13 days ago, you put a train barge with like a 15-inch gun on it.
Yeah, and that's real. That was real. Yeah. That was in the Civil War. And
it's a real photo.
Yeah, and like, I didn't know that existed. And like a month before that, I was doing all those Civil War barges. Like, I was
like it was a while ago. You just like Civil War. It
was just there was 72 hours where I just went on a Civil War mania. It was just I think one day I made 45 posts, and I was like, I need to slow down. But yeah.
I actually figured out the algorithm why some posts get like 30 upvotes and then other posts get like 900.
What?
It's because people on FunnerHistory only check FunnerHistory like 2 times of the day. Okay. The first time being as soon as they wake up, and the second time being just before bed. So I usually make like 2 posts a day. One's right in the morning, one's right in the afternoon.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
People see it, and I don't get stuck at one upvote.
Dean, you mastermind. Yeah,
I have big brain.
Yeah, big brain. I saw some meme yesterday. It was like some guy putting. No, it was a quantum physics. Like, it was a podcast, some dude was talking about quantum physics and like how no one understands it. And so one of the comments was like, me listening to this is like putting on a balloon under my hat, or putting on a balloon under a wig to sneak into the big brain convention. Like, oh yes, of course, quantum entanglement. Like, I have no idea.
It's like you can clearly see that is a big red balloon.
Yeah.
It's just under like a hair that's like you can still see like the forehead area.
Yeah,
it's
like, oh yes, of course, big brain convention. But yeah, it's yeah. So some of this stuff, but what I like even more is when. And there's like just multiple. It's like Inception. There's like multiple tiers of shit posting, and one of the ones is like post a real thing in FunnerHistory, and then cross post it to another real subreddit. So because normally like I'll cross post shit to real subreddits, and I'll be like, "Is this real?" And I'll be like, "Oh god damn it! Look at the subreddit." But if you post something real in FunnerHistory and cross post that to a real subreddit, like the Raytheon, where they put the C with, they put
they'll
the
just
C
say,
with.
"Stop with your stupid Photoshop."
Yeah, where they put their.
Be like, "Bro, this is real."
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I saw that on the General Electric's
yeah.
giant.
Oh yeah,
the
fucking
giant railgun. It was like
the railgun on the ship.
Stop posting your Photoshops. You were like, "Dude, this is real."
Yeah. Yeah, and not none of those kind words, but it was like, hey, fuck it, this is real. But where is it? I literally linked. It was like General Dynamics or General Electrics, and it's like on the front page. And but someone was like, dude, don't post. Or like, okay, whatever. It's like, someone said like your Photoshop still suck. I was like, this is not mine. This is not only is the idea real. Like, here's the image on General. Like, this is a defense contractor. Yeah. That's their work. It's not mine. And I'll be like, wait, what? The Raytheon, the Sea-Wiz on that Oshkosh like truck bed. That was another one. I think I posted that to Scary Technology or Scary Weapons.
Yeah, it was something just like technical something. Just
Yeah. Oh, shitty. No. I got banned from Shitty Technicals. It's understandably so. I remember the guy because he was like, first of all, these aren't shitty technicals. Like they're very like advanced. Yeah. But he was also like. The guy messaged me and he was like, he's like, I'm looking at your cross-post history and you're clearly cross-posting out of your subreddit. And I was just like, guilty. And he was like, I appreciate your honesty. He like undid the permanent ban. He was like 30-day ban, Shitty Technicals, stop cross-posting. I was like, respect. And so I've stopped cross-posting them. I'll show some respect to them. But yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the main problem. In Reddit, just putting out fakes is kind of is a no-no zone. I mean, there's not a lot of websites that really allow fictional things to exist. That's why it's really hard because like everyone wants real things. That's why I feel like it's better to monopolize on April Fools. Because...
Oh yeah. I forgot. Yeah, the April Fools initiative. That's gonna be. Yeah. That's gonna.
Just cross-post to places. Just be like, look at this thing. They'll be like, is this real? And it's like, haha, no, April Fools. Get pranked.
Yeah. This is gonna put the TED offensive to shame. The April Fools initiative. Where were you on the April Fools initiative? It's gonna be a documentary in 30 years. Like we thought we were prepared. No one saw it coming.
Oh yeah, we're probably gonna get like banned from like every sub once we do April Fools post.
Hey man, if FunnerHistory gets quarantined, that will be awesome. Because all the cool subs are quarantined. It's now become a badge of coolness. Yeah. I'm not sure if anyone else will like it, but no, there's no reason I don't think we would get banned. I mean, I've stopped cross-posting. I've stopped. It's occasionally I'll do it, but I feel like FunnerHistory is self-sustaining now. I feel like it's kind of growing. Yeah. It's very slow, but it's not normally when we would stop posting or stop cross-posting. You could see it over like a day. It would start dropping by like 100 members a day. But now granted, it's been losing a couple over the last couple days, but it's for the most part, it's just slowly. It's like a very slow burn. It's not 100 new people a day. It's at like 5 a day, but it's like a natural. And there are other people posting now, so it's becoming its own entity, its own. And whether that entity will be good or bad is beyond my understanding. But yeah, it's a fucking hoot. What are you doing, D?
I'm doing some Photoshop stuff. I'm multitasking currently.
Fuck you. No, fuck you. You're on my podcast. We're doing the podcast. Don't give me that half-ass shit. I will boot you. I will boot just like we boot shit posters. I will knock you the fuck out of here.
I just wanted to make something real quick. I'm not doing anything. I'm just clicking buttons every now and then to change stuff.
I will fucking smack a bitch. I had on a friend 2 days ago, and I was talking to him, and he had glasses on, and I could see his phone, and like he was like and I was like, put your fucking phone down, and he was like, what? And I was just like, you're in Tommy's class now. Yeah, no, I'm the principal, bitch. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. I think what do you think's in store for FunnerHistory?
Well, it's definitely gonna be layered onto every single website. Like there will be, because you go on YouTube, you search up fake planes, or I don't know, you'll just search up top 10 biggest planes. All the front pages are just photoshops.
Yeah.
Are just the weirdest photoshops of this A380 that has 20 decks.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometime in the future there's going to be a YouTube video of top 10 craziest aerial vehicles, and there will be a FunnerHistory post.
Yeah.
As the thumbnail.
I fucking hope.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be put somewhere. There's gonna be one of our work, and then the people are gonna be like, dude, this is totally fake, bro.
Yeah.
If there's gonna be websites on CNN or something just saying that are talking about this subreddit has been posting fictional vehicles and has been.
Are they Russian?
People are wondering if this is actually real.
Are these the Russians? Are they influencing Reddit?
Yeah.
Yes. Duh. No, that's true.
Yes, comrades. We are totally Russians.
We are totally Americans. Red, white, blue, forever and okays. Yes.
I work in hamburger mine to get money.
Yeah. I work in a hamburger mine.
Yeah, I actually saw a post that was just this really kind of surreal post. It was just trying to be American, I work 12 hours in hamburger mine to gain minimum wage, and then someone commented, "This is a communist spy getting interrogated by the CIA in the 1970s."
Yeah. Yeah, man, I'd love to see someone like that Kimmy Talviti guy, or an actual digital modeler. I'd love to see someone come in and literally bring FunnerHistory to life, because I don't know how to do any of that shit. That is beyond me. That is beyond my time.
I did a couple of one summer of a Blender, so I am a little bad because I trained with making Minecraft seed chop a cylinder in half, so I'm not the best, but I can animate. Animated something.
We'll get on it, Dean.
Yeah, Blender's a big software, and my computer can barely run the most mediocre of games, so it's a bit weird. So I'm thinking about maybe just boosting my computer somehow or something. So first I need to figure out how do I make my computer be a nice piece of shit, and before I start actually doing good stuff.
Yeah, dude, you need to build a PC.
Yeah, I know a friend that likes to build PCs. Yeah. He actually built one all on his own, and it's the best computer. You can take DCS or Arma, run it at max quality, and you can still probably get 70 frames.
Jesus.
It's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
60, 70 FPS.
Yeah. I'd like to build, because I have a MacBook, and you can't really tinker with Macs. Not you can't really. You cannot. It's I'd love to. Yeah, because you can really fucking jack them up if you get some you build your own, get some water cooled motherfuckers, you can get a 6K screen. You can dude. Some of those things are mini supercomputers. Oh yeah.
There's the IBMs from 1970 at NASA, just those things that you have to wheel in.
Yeah.
It's this giant box you wheel in. I was just okay, time to go play some Roblox or something.
Yeah, it's time to go play solitaire. I don't know, man, because I love consoles. I don't know what it is about it. I know they're so like limited. Like two of my best friends, like gamer friends, they're always like, dude, why are you you're part of the inferior race. Like why are you on a console? Like I don't know, man. I like a controller. Like I don't know.
It just kind of matters on how you grow up with it. Like I didn't get an Xbox until like maybe 2 years ago, and I barely even play it.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I barely know the controls, because it's the four pad with the X and the O and the box and stuff. So it's really confusing. That's why I use PC, because I know the WAs and D and all of that. So I'm all used to that. So
yeah,
that's why it's kind of hard for people to adapt to like other games. And that's why there's the whole PC master race and all other bullshit, because people are used to the devices they grew up with. Like I'm used to computer and mobile devices. That's what I grew up with. And I had a old Windows that my mom had I had this like really old Windows. It was a laptop. I would say it's more of a desktop computer, but it was somehow considered a laptop.
Yeah.
It was like really thick, like a book of a computer, like you were holding an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And it had to be wall plugged like whenever you started it, because it chewed through so much battery, and it sounded like a freaking GE9X whenever you used it. It was, the fan would be going like super strong. Like, you just hear I didn't care. Yeah, exactly like that. The best thing about it is, despite its clunkiness, and it was probably from like the 1990s, it ran well. It did its job. It could actually run games. It could run at high quality. It could run good frames. My mom threw it out because she thought it was old, and replaced us with this Mac, which is like a bigger piece of shit from that, because now it doesn't run games.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you can't update Macs. So Macs are like, they're brilliant, and they're like, when you first get one and they're brand new, it's like goddamn alien technology. You're like, this, but they as
soon as you get used to it, it's just like, why did I buy this piece of shit?
Yeah, it's just the progression of technology. It very quickly goes past it, and then you can't change it. Like the iMac we have, like 7 years ago, that thing was like goddamn supercomputer. I can cure cancer. But now it's like, you cannot upgrade this thing. It's just like, okay, and like everything else, the rest of technology blows by it, and it leaves it in the past. So it's like, now just like the RAM needed to run YouTube, you're like, oh Jesus Christ, don't open up a second tab, crashed. Like it's,
it's just like, my computer's really picky on what games to run. Like for City Skylines, that game is a bit laggy because all those polygons. But like, I run it at like minimum specs. War Thunder, I run at minimum specs, but it's still laggy every now and then, especially when I slam the plane into the water. It just freezes and crashes. But DCS, I mean, X-Plane 11, I have that. Runs maybe the best game. I don't know, like that has way more polygons than War Thunder. Yet War Thunder runs worse. I don't know what's wrong. Like, what am I doing? I'm literally flying an SR-71. It looks like a real photo, and then I'm running War Thunder like it's a freaking calculator.
Yeah, dude.
I can guess I can probably run War Thunder better on a Nokia cell phone than my computer.
Well, Nokia's master race, so that's expected. It's man. It's, dude. I remember I used to play. It was Half-Life 2, but what was it? It was like a one-level release. I think it was just like a graphics testing thing. I forget what it was called, like Lost Coast, Hidden Coast, something. It was literally just one level. That's all the thing was. And it was like, you basically have to go up the side of this cliff to like a church and blow up a helicopter. It was that's all it was. I don't remember what it was, but
sounds like Metal Gear.
What?
Sounds like Metal Gear, to be honest.
But it was awesome because I used to play it at my friend's house when I was in high school. And because I'd play it at my house and it would suck, but I'd always go to his house. And I would just go in and I'd turn off all the graphics, and it was just like, oh, this is so beautiful. And it was, dude, that's the problem though, is once you play something with everything on max, you go back, it's depression. Like team.
Because like you go to any game and you don't see the little Mac icon, you just see Windows, and you're like, I'm so looking forward to this game. like BMG. I like that game because simulator physics.
Yeah.
I can't run it because it's a Windows game, and I used to have a Windows.
Yeah, dude, I want to play that so badly.
I have if I go to my Steam library, there's 10 games on it that I can't run because it's only for Windows and not for Mac. So that's why I'm begging my mom, can I just please get a Windows?
Yeah. Dude.
Please, this thing is a literal piece of shit. It doesn't run anything, and it sucks at running things.
Yeah. Dude, I want to play that game so badly. I normally don't ever watch any games on YouTube because it's just I'm either gonna play the game or I'm gonna do something productive. But I'm not gonna watch someone play the game. But BeamNG, Drive, dude, I can watch that for hours. Just crash compilations or cliff compilations or, dude.
They put hour-long compilations of just cars going.
Yeah, but dude, I can watch them. I'm not kidding, dude. I will sit there and watch them for 2 goddamn hours. Because that's the only game where I'll watch crashes. Because I've played Grand Theft Auto so many thousands of hours that there isn't. I've seen every animation. There's nothing, even mods now. It's just okay, I've seen it all. But with Beam, there are still crashes in BeamNG that I'll see and I'll win. So I'll be oh my god,
because BMG is a physics simulator. No crash is the same like a snowflake. Everything is a little bit different.
Yeah. I saw one the other day and it was a cop car. It was chasing someone, and someone swerved out of the way, and the cop car hit one of those trucks where it was a ramp on it.
Oh,
and it flew up. But it hit this truck. Normally would have been just a sick ramp, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But the truck was just at that moment going under an overpass. So the cop car came up, dude, and it launched off at that angle, but the bridge was right here. It wrinkled around it, and then it stayed. It literally was compressed to it. And I remember watching that, and I was because it was just I watched it and I was oh my god, they had the crash test dummy in it, and his arm was coming out of the gas cap, and I was just
oh yeah, I've seen one that was a bus, and then there was a traffic jam, so it got stuck on the railroad, and this train just came out of nowhere and folded it like a card. It just and it just kept on going. The train did not care that there was an entire school bus just in front of it. Just kept on trucking until it stopped maybe a mile later with the bus still on it. I was just
oh yeah, or when you'll see there'll be ones of just something, I don't know, it's a pickup truck, and it will it'll curve on something, and it will it'll hit a bus above the grill, and it will literally just shear it off. And it's just oh Jesus Christ, dude! If they added realistic gore to that, that would be the best game ever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's actually a game that's somewhat going to be following that. There's someone that's making a voxel simulator using voxels, which are just physics cubes.
Mm-hmm.
But they're making an entire game that has realistic destruction and such. So, so in normal games, you're holding a gun, you shoot a building, it makes a predetermined hole in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
If you and then you go to games, and then you go to this game, you shoot a gun at the wall, it will destroy blocks realistically. It's crazy stuff. And I'm guessing it's going to follow that. It's realistic destruction with cars and everything, and people, and it says it's going to come out in 2020, but I haven't heard much information about it.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen videos where is it the one where it's also got realistic fires and smoke? Because there'll be
and it has realistic lighting and all that.
Yeah, it's if you start a fire inside.
It's like Minecraft, but real.
Yeah, it's if you start a fire inside, it will start billowing, and then you can go break a window, and it'll actually pull it out in a certain way. And there's realistic burning. It weakens the structure and stuff.
Working on it for 5 years, just to perfect every single thing, and it's going to be released this year, hopefully for Mac.
Yeah. Oh no, it won't. No, it won't be released for Mac, Dean. Don't even get your hopes up, dude. I can't let you do this.
Yeah.
Friends don't let friends get their hopes up.
It's going to be Windows only, fool.
Yeah, Windows only, bitch. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
it's, dude, if you took that and you put that with like BeamNG Drive and what, I mean, I could get where some games don't want to do it because I don't know, maybe it'd make people queasy, not want to buy it, but no game's ever really done like full, like anatomically correct gore. You know, even like, and I get it, like maybe not everyone wants to see that. You know, you don't want it to be too realistic. You just want to play a game, like, you know. But GTA 5, like if you go up to someone with like a Barrett 50 cal at point blank and put it to their face, it's just like they get shot and it's like and they fall over and it's just like.
I mean, yeah, some VR games are testing the waters of that. Like Pavlov, they've recently tested with their 50 cals that you can shoot someone and they'll be a hole of where he shot. Like I've seen my friend, he just shot a 50 cal and the guy's chest was just ripped open. It was, Jesus. But like, yeah, but VR games are testing the waters on making VR as realistic as possible with realistic movement and physics.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you took something like BeamNG, was it Voxels, and
it was like you took Voxel Simulator,
and you took that gore too, and you put it together, because like I played
that would be just playing in real life. That would literally just be playing in real life.
Yeah, like because
playing baking,
like GTA, like I played the campaign, but like I mean, what do you spend the majority of your time in? You just grab shit and drive around and blow stuff up, but that gets. It's fun for a long time. It has a great replay value, but even that, you run the course of like, okay, you know, it's been out for 7 years now. I've driven every car off of every building and every cliff. I've shot every gun. Like I've done all of this. I've had 5 stars in every location of, you know, whatever.
I've done all the story missions, all the side missions,
and I've done them all 10 times. Like, and I've done like different sure, okay, but if you get to like. If you took BeamNG and like put that in Grand Theft Auto, I don't think
that would be.
It wouldn't be good for like. I think you'd want to be able to like toggle it on and off, because when you're doing like missions in GTA 5 and you're tearing through the streets and they're shooting at you, like you don't want soft body physics then, because you're driving your cop car and you get blindsided by a SWAT SUV. You don't want to actually be flattened, because you're like, oh fuck.
Just in GTA, you'd probably just hit it. Your car would get flown back, and then you just start peeling off again.
Yeah.
But if you're in BeamNG, both cars are turned into pancakes.
Yeah, it's just flattened. It's just, I mean, that could be, you know, you could put it on like expert mode, like that could be fun, because you got to be really good at driving. But I'd like to be able to toggle that on like after you've played the campaign.
Yeah, I think BeamNG has some sort of AI that allows you that has cars chase you. So I've seen.
What, Dean?
Because, you know, games are like that. And it's realistic crashing. So the cars will hit their bumper and such.
Yeah.
The bumper will fly off. They'll hit them. They will swerve, slam into a tree, all that stuff.
Yeah. Those are. I fucking love those. I love. Have you ever seen the BeamNGs they'll make like tubes in the sky? And so you try to fly the plane through them, and it sheathes off the wings, and so.
Those ones where it'll just have like these rings, and then the car will come through it like a pole just gets shredded apart. Yeah, those are really interesting.
Yeah, I love seeing the plane ones, because it'll be like they'll put almost like basketball hoop. They'll put like rings at the bottom, and it'll be like, which score can you get? And you'll fly a 747 through. It'll shear off the wings and the tail. And so it's just a fuselage, and it's literally like you can play darts with it. Yeah,
it's just this cardboard tube with a cockpit.
Yeah, man. I've been thinking. Do you think GTA 6? Do you think that will go? So I called it. I fucking called it. Hey, real quick. The Shadow Demons are back. They're always back. They're never gone.
Yeah, I have a ghost that likes to haunt my house. He opens the screen door every night. He opens doors and shit. Not fun.
Really?
It's just the wind, but we call him a ghost.
Do you think the ghost?
Because we have a faulty screen door, and if the wind blows strong enough, the door will just open. But we always call it the ghost because the door opens on itself. Of course, we're just gonna call it a ghost.
Do you think the ghost would like bucked up energy?
I don't know if he's in, but probably.
I bet that ghost would use coupon code TPC20 for 20% off if he were.
Hell yeah.
But unfortunately,
Yeah, he likes to use my computer, so
Yeah.
he can definitely do that.
He'll definitely go to buckedup.com and use TPC 20. Yeah, so
Yeah.
he'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dude, maybe we should try to get sponsored by some defense contractors.
Just shows up to the Pentagon. Yo, can you sponsor me? I got this crazy looking plane.
Yeah. Hey, I'm part of. Man, I wonder if we could fucking. I wonder if that we could like leak out. The Air Force or Department of Defense could use us for like soft disclosure. You know, like slowly start or just disinformation.
Yeah.
Give us legitimate pictures of shit from Area 51, but we'll just post it, and people will be like, "Man, these guys are really stepping up their Photoshop quality." And then when you see the real thing,
I mean, there's always going to be the crackpot out there that's just going to be like, this is definitely real, and even for our Photoshops, it is then definitely real. There's definitely people claiming this is real.
Yeah,
so,
but still, I mean, think about it.
Yeah, there's people claiming that the shit that I made up in like 5 minutes off the top of my head, I was just like, I'm gonna make some weird looking spy plane. Someone's like, wasn't this a plan by the United States Air Force? I'm like, it is.
Is it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I literally just thought this. I was literally just sitting in the car and it was like spy plane, and I made it.
Yeah. Yeah,
the government is beaming their plans into my mind.
They are. Well, was it Honda or someone came out with an ad in like 1988, and it was about because people knew the B2 was in development, not the B21. They knew the B2 was in development, but no one had any like B21. Like no one knows what it looks like, but everyone kind of knows it's going to look like the B2. No one knew what the B2 was going to look like, aside from probably some insiders that knew about like the flying wing.
Yeah, and the F117.
Yeah, but I think it was Honda came out with an ad, and they're like, this is our black budget, and it was like the new 1988 whatever. And the thing is they had it in a hangar next to their own fictional plane that looks stunningly similar to the B2. Apparently, they got a visit from like OSI and the FBI, and it was like because the B2 was a special access project. Before that, there were only two special access projects: the F-117 and the Manhattan Project. So like stealth and nuclear warfare. Like so they got a visit. It was like, why is this image like they can't admit that it looks like it, but they're like, why? How did you get this shit? And they were just like, it was just some like guys in the like marketing department were like, I don't know, like yeah. But apparently they let the ad run because they're like, it will draw more attention to us if we pull down this ad. And we say, because, big brain time.
Yes.
Yeah, the original big brains. But, yeah, which makes me think, like, I wonder if we're ever going to do a Photoshop and, like, a couple black SUVs are going to be outside and it's going to be like, Mr. Kerrigan, please come with us. Be like, wait, what? Be like,
yeah, I mean, there's like, as I said, there's like 3 air bases by my house. There's probably going to be one Black Hawk that's going to decide to deviate off course.
Just to send a message, just like
they fly out by my house like every day.
Yeah.
There's bound to be one that's gonna be a fly off course and just show up and be like, "What is this?
Yeah. What is this?" Yeah, man. I wonder if they could use this as like a weaponized arm, like it's FunnerHistory and it's clearly fake, but nonetheless, we could put ideas in the subconscious of people. So it'd be like, hey, make a FunnerHistory that, against Russia, or make a FunnerHistory that makes China look bad. Shit, yeah. I'd take that dirty Department of Defense money. I don't give a shit. You guys give me the order. I'm a proud American. Woo! Like, Dean and I will take orders. What do you need? Coronavirus in China? You got it.
You need some fictional stealth plane to deviate from the real stealth plane, like the Aurora. Boom, got it.
Got it. We're your guys. Put us on the payroll. Give us a badge. But yeah, man. I wonder if we're ever gonna get Dean. Get off your phone. It's
not on the phone.
Oh,
my phone is right here.
Oh, fair.
Here, look.
Fair.
Well, now it's over there.
Fair. Unless the ghost kicks it back over.
He hasn't opened the door yet.
He hasn't opened the door. Okay, good. Yeah, man. It's You ever heard heard of the comedian Ron White? I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
It's kind of he was bigger when I was younger, but he was on Joe Rogan and he was talking about how he lived in a haunted house that was legitimately like a haunted place. Like the realtor had to tell him like, hey, like there are like reports of this, like there's a guy, I forget what his name was, the ghost, something weird like, I don't know, like Packy or whatever, but it was just this, he was like the oldest dude in this small town and he was like the barber and he died and that was his house. And apparently he wasn't like a mean ghost, but he was like, just some shit would happen and it'd be like, oh, there's Packy. And but he was talking about when his son was like 5 and like he and his wife got separated and his son was staying with him, and he's like I remember like my son he had this weird thing where he's little, he'd take he'd always put out his clothes for school the next day and he'd put it on top of his bureau. He'd fold his underwear, his like shorts, his socks, and he'd always put his like little sneakers up there. And in the morning he would go and he'd get it all down and he was just like, he was a cute little 5-year-old. And he's like, well, one night like the shoes just like flew across the room, like hit the other wall, and like so he woke up crying and was scared and he went and put him back up there, and he's like, and it happened again, so the kid like decided, he's like, okay, I'm gonna put him on like the top bunk or something, and then like the shoes flew off and like one of them like hit the kid in the head, and so he came and woke up like Ron White for like the 3rd time crying, and he's like so Ron White goes, so the ghost's daughter, who was like 70, was his landlord, and he's like, so finally I went in there and he's like, I sat down in a chair and he goes, all right, Packy, I don't mind you're a ghost. I don't mind that you're here. I love your company. I love to know that you're cool with me living here. Very grateful. Not gonna have any ghost hunters in here, but you listen to me. You listen to me good. You make my little boy cry again, I'm gonna punch your daughter in the mouth.
I mean, that's one way to threaten a ghost.
He goes, and it stopped. And Joe Rogan's listening to him and he goes, dude, you bullied a ghost? And he goes, hey, I guess I did.
I have some interesting stories like that on a Glitch in the Matrix. There was this one story of like this kid had to use his mom's shower because his shower wasn't working for some reason, and he broke the shower for some reason. Then he was at the park like doing some sport, and then some kid yelled out when he was doing a bad job, this kid like broke his mom's shower, and he just said, shut the fuck up. And once the game was over, he couldn't find him. I'm pretty sure his inner demon, his demon that was watching him, just came up trying to bully him, and he just told him to shut the fuck up. Like, how badass do you get the telling your demon just to not?
Yeah, hey, fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was kind of hilarious.
You could always just creep out your demons. Like, anytime they're around, just be like, I'm gonna shit the bed right now, man. Like, just creep them out. Like, or just be like, demons, I have feelings for you. Like, will you be my Valentine? Like, you just gotta creep them out.
Like, late at night, it just wakes up, scooches over to the other side of the bed, past the other side of the bed.
Yeah.
He kind of opens up the covers. Come on, get in.
Come on, demon. Like, I love you, demon. You're my only. Like, yeah, they'd get the fuck out of there.
Try to get them out of your house. It just make them look like this is a really awkward situation.
Just make them uncomfortable. Just be like, dude, I'm more of a demon than you. Or just be like, dude, when I die, I'm gonna terrorize you. I'm gonna be your demon's demon. Yeah, man. But yeah, so VR, super realistic. I was thinking, like, do you think there's ever going to be a point where it's, like, difficult to play? Like, it's so realistic, like, killing someone, that it's almost like you almost get, like, PTSD from a video game. Like, dude,
I mean, it's likely. There's TV shows that existed that claim to be real, but it was entirely fictional. Like, I think there was something on like a British podcast, a British TV show that was like about ghosts, called like Ghost Watch, and it was like really spooky to like give kids PTSD. So I mean, if a TV show about ghosts is able to give kids PTSD, I think it's highly likely that sometime in VR it's going to get so realistic that people are just going to be like freaked out about it.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, no, I've thought about that, but like, just being the devil's advocate against my own argument, part of me thinks like, you know, like the generation above mine that didn't have video games, if they had anything, it was like Pong. And you know, they see shit. I remember being at my friend. He's been on this podcast. He's a 3D printing guy, Brett O'Callahan. I've known him since middle school. I remember the first time we ever stayed up all night was 5th grade at Britt's birthday party, his 11th birthday. We had a Halo 1 LAN party. We had I think we had 16 or 20 people in his basement. This was like 2002. And
wow.
Yeah. And I remember we played all night, but I remember like his parents coming down and be like, you know, like, are these games not like too violent for you guys? And it was just, you know, driving warthogs, were blowing shit up with a sniper rifle, and just like, you know, the name of the map is literally Blood Gulch. Like, we're like, no, this is fine. And like, I hope this doesn't affect you guys. Like, growing up, like, I'd argue that I'm as normal as they were at my age, like, no less or worse. Like, which makes me think, like, my mind, I'm slowly, if I'm not already there, I'm 30 in August. I'm like officially old. Like, I'm approaching boomer, right? So
yeah,
right. So it's going to be like, you know, I'm like, are you sure you can play those VR games without getting the PTSDs? Like, you know, it might be scary. Meanwhile, it might be the equivalent of like growing up with like Blood Gulch and being like, what? No, it's just a video game. Like, your generation might be like, what? No, it's a video game. Like, yeah, I just choked out this old grandma. Like,
Gen Z, it's just like video games. They're cool.
Yeah.
Nothing really changes. Like, yeah, especially for the whole video games cause violence. It doesn't change it doesn't change us really, to be honest.
I think it makes me less violent.
Yeah, I actually did something for school once of if video games were violent. Most of the people said video games help release my violent efforts into game form, because, like, say you had a really bad day, you can go shred up some demons in Doom Eternal.
Yeah, or it's like hanging out with your friends. Like, instead of actually beating the shit out of each other, it can be like, you know, sitting next to you on a couch, and I'll just be like, boom, headshot, bitch. Like, get owned. Like, don't pop it. Like, but I didn't actually have to shoot my friend. Instead, it's just like, hey, man, can you pass the Cheetos? Like, gotcha.
It's just a whole lot of fun. So, so games, there's definitely some unrealism about them that just kind of makes like scary games hard. It makes a bit of scary games hard. I don't know how YouTubers make it look so real. Mm-hmm. But it's reality. It's just a computer that has a bunch of pixels that of different colors that just show us, hey, look, scary thing. Yeah.
And again, like, I'm looking at it from my point of view. Like, I can play any, you know, like, I don't know, like when GTA 5 got, I guess, remastered for Xbox One, because it came out on 360 in 2013. When it got remastered for Xbox One, they put it in first person, so now you could drive around like first person. That became much more realistic, because you'd be going and you'd be like fly off a cliff, and I'd actually feel like just a little bit kind of my stomach drop, because it would be like, oh fuck. But you know, it's still just, it's a video game. I'm sitting on a couch holding a controller, and there's a TV, and it only exists in there. There's always a sense
of realism. Like, when you're like, if you're playing like a shooting game, you start firing and you're walking around, and you see an enemy just about to kill you with like a melee weapon. You have a sense of, oh fuck, I could die.
Yeah.
You just start firing.
Yeah.
There's always that, because like always that scared part that's just like that is because it still activates feelings, because you're seeing something, you're seeing this guy, you're about to get stabbed by a guy. It's a sense of surprise. You're still gonna fire, but it's not real enough, as in you're actually in a war zone, and some guy's about to actually stab you. So it's always, there's still emotions that can come with it, like surprise, but it's not like actual life or death situation. You're probably just gonna die and be like, oh heck, I died. Waits 5 seconds, I'm back in.
Or you're trying to replay a mission like that you can't beat. Like, you can definitely get like a little like adrenaline, like, you know, you ever play like Nazi Zombies or something, and it's like you and your friend like beat your old record. There's certainly like a sense of like, okay, like stay calm, like, you know, it's, you know, it's like, you know, when FunnerHistory trends, it's like, be cool, like, you know, but it's still not real. It's like, it's a game. What makes me think and again, I don't know, maybe this is just like, okay, boomer, like maybe I'm too old, but like I feel once it goes from like sitting on a couch and I'm looking at a rectangular screen, doesn't matter how good the graphics are, it's still I'm sitting on a couch holding controllers.
Yeah.
When it goes to like 360 degrees and maybe you can get on
You're
some like
actually in the game. The computer is on your eyes wherever you move. The game is around you. So that's why VR it brings a whole new level of spook, because you're in the scenario now. Yeah. But it's still a game. You're still got that 5-second respawn and you can still replay missions and all that stuff. So
it's definitely gonna. And if you can get like almost like a treadmill type thing, you know, like some omnidirectional, you can
from Ready Player One.
Yes, exactly like that. Exactly like that. I knew that wasn't my idea. I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And I was like, wait a second, like that's from Ready Player One.
Ready Player One has already stolen the idea for a 360-degree treadmill with realistic ground stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, an omnidirectional treadmill. Like, what else would it be? Because like VR, it's still gonna. I can only imagine there's a certain level of like, because if you're playing on your computer and it's just WSAD, like whatever, you hold W, you go forward, like okay, that's fine, you know, because it's still like it's everything else is still so far removed. There's a rectangle, and outside of that is just your bedroom. Like you're not really there.
I can look over and I see my fireplace, my wall.
Sure, yeah. There's going to be this weird middle ground where it's. VR helmets are going to be more and more accessible, better quality, but you're still going to be sitting on your couch. So it's going to be this weird, like, you're running around, but you
have to teleport or just click a button on your controller, your Joy-Cons to move forward. It's not full realistic VR because you're still standing there.
Yeah.
Just going like this. Ooh.
Yeah.
The crazy things.
Yeah. Or like you're not even getting up. You're literally just sitting there and you're, you know, using, I don't know, a console or a steering wheel and you're driving. It's going to get weirder and weirder when it's like omnidirectional treadmill. And there's like haptic sensation or haptic feedback where literally you can like feel shit. Or it's
the controllers can simulate touching feelings and stuff. And simulate like getting punched in the gut and such.
Yeah. And there's like what happens when there's like olfactory feedback? What happens when you can smell? You can smell the gunpowder. You can smell the dead bodies or the burning rubber.
At some point, it's going to be so realistic that you can go away from reality to join reality.
Yeah, and I don't think that's bad though. There's this big idea of like that's fake. No one's even gonna like do real shit anymore. But it's like, how is that any less real? If it's you and your friend, like, this is real. Like, right now, I'm hanging out with you. Like, this is real. Like, to someone 20 years ago, I'd be like, well, that's not even real because you're not in the same room. And I'd be like, well, yeah, no, I'm still sitting in my room. But, like...
Yeah, we're, like, on the opposite sides of the United States.
But we're talking. Yeah, to me, I'm like, how is this any less real than talking to someone at the gym? Like, we're just so right here. So... I think, it's going to be like, how is VR any less real? If it's me and my best friends and we're, you know, if anything, I think it's just going to enhance reality even more because you can live all over the country and it's going to be like, you know, all right, dude, I put the kids to bed.
The thing about Ready Player One is mostly talking about like how people can live out their fantasies. It's just in VR because it's so realistic.
And why shouldn't they be able to? Why do fantasies need to be limited to being a billionaire? Like, or, you know, what if your fantasy is to be an NBA player, but, you know, just genetics, your mom and your dad are both 5'6", and like you're not going to be a 6'8" point guard. Like, you know, we already play video where it's like, I played like, I live under a rock, so I'm so far behind and everything. But when I last went up to my friend's house, we played like NCAA like 2012. I don't like sports. I don't like sports games, but we played it, and it was just like, but it was fun because it wasn't just playing. It was like, we could like draft kids out of like high school. You could like use different tactics to like yield them in. Be like, you know, there's a lot of girls at this school or something. It was just, it's stupid shit, but at the same time, it made it like more real. It was like, oh, cool, we got to get these kids to come. And so we'd start like making up shit, like we making up backstories and stuff, and it was just fun. And it's so like, I don't see what's bad about VR. Like if it allows everyone to be like the superhero that like they always want it to be. Like, why do we listen to certain podcasts? Why do we watch certain movies? Why do we watch sports? They're entertaining, but it's also, to an extent, I mean, are we not living vicariously through them? Like, oh man, I wish I was a, quarterback for in the Super Bowl. Sure, you love football and that's why you're watching it, but is there not part of you consciously or subconsciously that's like putting yourself in that uniform, and it's like you're the one hoisting up the trophy, like, or storming D-Day? Is that not you going like, our generation doesn't have any bad?
Is that not you, the pilot flying the aircraft?
Yes. It's like, why do we play these? Why do we things like storming Omaha Beach? Like, people died, and the people that survived shut that out of their memory forever. Like, why are we going back and replaying it? Sure, you could say, well, it's explosives and guns, but is there not also a part of like, you get to be the greatest generation? You get to go fight the literal world-ending Nazi empire. Like, you get to go and like give your life. Granted, it's a video game, but it's like you get that sort of like purpose. Like, you get to. You ever been playing video games with your friend and like you sacrifice yourself? Like, I'm gonna provide covering fire. Like, go. You run out and you get gunned, and
you're out doing something. Like, you're out doing something, and then your friend just kind of goes up in front and just starts blasting away while you're
laying down, and he's like, run, and you're like, no, like, and it's kind of real too. Like, what if they don't get to respawn? Like, they don't get to play for the rest of the match.
Yeah, CS:GO.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
you only get to spawn once, and that for the entire match, and then you just get to spectate, and then the next round you spawn back.
Yeah, but
that's a whole different round, a whole different scenario.
Yeah, so it's like, but there is some like realistic, quote unquote realistic sacrifice. It's not just die, you're instantly back in. It's like you and your friend have been playing a match for like an hour, and you've leveled up, you've got this armor, this gun, and you're like, all right, dude, there's no way we're getting out of this, so I'm gonna go out there and distract him. You run. Like, you die and you lose that armor and that gun that just took you 40 minutes to get. Granted, it's not giving your life on D-Day, but still, it's like it's a little more real, because it's like you actually do lose that thing that you just spent 3/4 of an hour getting, and you're doing it for your friend too. It's like, I got your back. Like, you sort of simulate that like heroism. So tying it back to VR, I don't think it's bad at all. It's like, well, everyone's going to spend their time in VR. Like, who cares? We all get to be like the heroes we want to be. Like, why should anyone be robbed of that? Like, no, like, not everyone gets to do that in real life, and that's just reality. No, like, you can't go buy your own island no matter how badly you want it. Like,
you can't start a multi-million-dollar company and build rockets. You can't just do that.
Yeah, like, and some of us do. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and like, hey, you know what? They got to do it.
They're millionaires. They've
billionaires.
created legitimate businesses that have done a good job.
Exactly. So it's like, no, in real life, no, not everyone's entitled to an island. Like, these guys work their asses off, like them or dislike them. They did it. But, so, it's because an island's not available to everyone. But in VR, where it's just electrons, like, why, if that's available to everyone, why shouldn't? You shouldn't, it shouldn't be, in reality, it has to be bottlenecked. Not everyone can be a billionaire. But in a video game, when everyone can be, why not let everyone be one? Why not? It's, you want to go be a pilot fucking in the Battle of Britain, or you want to go...
you want to go smash a house in a realistic physics simulator.
Yeah.
Go do that, bro.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think that's bad. I just personally don't view that as like a dystopian future. Some people are going to like, oh, we're just going to be plugged into our video games all day. Like, as opposed to, what, is it better to go to a job in reality that you fucking hate all day? Because it's real? Hey, is that more honorable to go slave away at Kmart and then come home and eat a fucking frozen dinner and, you're just like, oh, back to bed. Gotta live the dream tomorrow. If you can do that all day and then at the end of the day go home and put your helmet on and meet up with your buddies and it's like, we're going to the dark side of the moon, that's awesome. Like, that's awesome. Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's exciting for sure. It's exciting. It's fucking. I'm worried I'll get addicted. I'm very worried.
It takes some practice. I mean, I've been there in the addiction train to video games.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of self-teaching sometimes. You need to tell yourself boundaries. You can't let people make the decisions for you. You got to tell yourself, I'm only going to play this certain game for like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, something like that. And then you do your homework. Yeah. It always takes boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's brilliant, because I don't think I'd learned that discipline until I was like 20. Like, but it's like, for me personally, like, I was playing video games more and more and more. I sold my Xbox One in November of last year, because I was like, the best case scenario is you have discipline. You tell yourself you got to put it down. I was like, the next best case scenario is I don't have discipline, but I recognize that, and I'm like, okay, well, my form of discipline is going to be I have to get rid of the Xbox. And no one took it away from me. It was, I got to get rid of it, because I'm not working as hard as I should. And it worked. I got rid of it, and I had no form of entertainment. And after just 2 weeks of no form of entertainment, I was like, I started this podcast. I was like, I want something to do. And like, it's blossomed. Fuck, I got a sponsor now. TPC20, buckedup.com. Use TPC20, get 20% off your code. Limited time only. But like, yeah. But it's also sponsored by Northrop Grumman. Like, B-2 bombers. Nuke the fuck out of your enemies. Scorch the earth. But, it's... So, like, for me, hopefully I can get back to a point where, like, I can get this podcast up and going, and hopefully I can get back to a point where I can buy an Xbox and I can play just a little bit a day. Like, for me, it's... I don't know. I might have to, like, limit myself. Like, I never had a problem when I just had a 360, because it was, like, it could only be so good. And it was on... the only TV I had was, like, an old 10-inch Vizio from, like, 2009. So it's, like, I could only get so addicted to it. But when I got an Xbox One, and then I plugged it into a 4K TV... Yeah, now the sound system's better. Well, that's when I had to get rid of it, because it was sucking me in. It's... Yeah. What are you thinking about?
My TV's not like any TV whatsoever. It's a really old TV, so I don't even have cable.
Yeah, dude.
I have to use Netflix. Right now, it is currently not working.
Dude, I think most people don't have cable now. Cable's...
I'm probably after this, I'm going to go find out how to fix my TV, because it is not working, and I have not seen any new episodes of Project Blue Book.
Yeah.
I need my new episodes now.
Yeah. Well, I thought you can watch that on your computer, right?
I do not have a History Channel downloaded on my computer.
Oh, I thought you said
I have it on the TV plus.
Oh, I thought you said it was on Netflix. So.
No, it's on History Channel.
Oh, I got you.
The first season is on Hulu because Amazon, because that's Amazon has everything.
Yeah.
So the entire first season is on Amazon, but the History Channel the History Channel was the one that made Project Blue Book. So season 2 is coming out. It's already came out. It's already doing the thing. So it's on the History Channel.
I got you. Yeah, man. I don't think I know, my parents do, but like, I think most people I know don't have cable. It's just Netflix and internet. Like, I don't think you really
cable was like something of its own time, and then it just runs its course. Like everything has its time. I mean, like if you think about it, there's always the moment of, wow, this is the greatest thing, and then a few years later, wow, this is so stupid. Like if you think about naval combat, it was battleships even. It's just like everyone was like, this is, the military is like, this is so powerful.
This is so big badass. Yeah.
As soon as aircraft came, it just the whole battleship just kind of died.
You don't need it.
The sinking Yamato, it barely fought any other ships. It was bombed for 2 hours by aircraft. Like the only other ships was tiny, really small destroyers that just went up alongside and just went bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter how much people like it. It will always die out. I mean, dude, like right now, I think we could argue that we're probably seeing the last generation of like fighter pilots. I think there's probably going to be like an interim where they fly, but they can also be droned. Like the B-21 is going to have drone capabilities. The 6th generation fighter.
If you look at like concepts of what Boeing, Northrop are doing, they're making drones. I've seen a drone tanker aircraft that can operate off carriers. Yeah.
But not only that, the fighter jets, like no one the human element is like a romantic thing, sure, like the fighter, or the two fighter pilots, but like ultimately the Air Force isn't about like, having fighter pilots. The Air Force is about air power, whether that is drones or whether that's like a P-51 Mustang. It is air power. What is the best for the time? Well, if we can get to a point now where we're creating things that they can do maneuvers that are now not limited by material science or by thrust vectoring power, or they're just limited by like human biology, well then they're going to remove the human biology aspect. Like
there's only a certain amount of G's that pilots can pull.
Exactly.
So that's like once drone pilots are in, it's kind of lights out for other jets, because they can now pull that 12 G maneuver and just be like, cool, and now behind the enemy fighter jet.
Yeah, or fuck that, pull 120 G maneuver. Like, there's no... Once you get rid of the human element, it's just like, okay, can the material survive? Okay, well then do it. Yeah, sure. Like, it's... Everything has its time like that. It's VR is going to replace... Yeah, I mean, I think consoles will go... Like, controller consoles, I think they're going to... I think in like 10 years, it's going to be like cable. It's going to be like a throwback, like playing like Super Nintendo. Like, oh, let's play some 360.
Like a VHS system.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it's going to be like a fun, like nostalgic throwback that you can post on Reddit for some sweet, sweet karma. But like, it's... No, the future is VR. Personally, I don't think I'll ever be able to own one, because I think I would literally have to like retire first. Because like once I dip my toes in that water, dude, I'm not getting back out. I already get sucked in with video games, dude. Now I can't imagine playing like Ace Combat 10 on VR with like a full fucking like cockpit in my living room.
I've seen those like F-18 pilots actually flying realistic F-18s in TCS.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff, because like those simulator pilots, they make entire cockpits of planes just so they can fly them. Yes. And in Microsoft Flight Simulator, in that said plane.
Yeah, it's dangerous for me, because I don't think I've been asked that before. Like, have you played VR? I'm like, no. Like I'm like, I can't. Like I know myself. I will vanish. They'd be like, Tommy, you haven't put up a podcast in 6 months. Has anyone heard from Tommy? Like, just gone, sitting in won't have
in VR land.
Yeah. But dude, I gotta go to the bathroom again. I'm sorry.
You can pause. It's fine.
Okay, trying to tell me off camera that he wasn't. All right, so. But sorry you had to see that, everyone. But yeah, it's yeah, man, it's gonna be weird. It makes you think, if VR is gonna be used for like space exploration, why send humans when we can just throw drones on Pluto? Yeah. And they could be like, hey, who wants to download like Pluto Operator? Who wants to just walk around in this?
There's what's it? The Bobiverse. Have you read those books?
The what?
The Bobiverse.
The Bobiverse?
The series of books. Okay, it's a really interesting books where this guy from our age dies, of course, but his conscience is transferred into like the way far future of like space exploration, like as a drone robot. And so it's like this guy as a little drone flying through space. It's like super realistic in every way. He starts cloning himself and putting himself on other planets. It's really interesting stuff, but it's practically just drone technology, because the guy's just a robot flying around with a human brain conscious.
Yeah, it's like the theory that like the Greys are just drones. They're just like bio-robotic drones, and that's like operated by an alien race. Like they throw aliens down. I mean, the whole thing is fucking insane, so I don't really nothing is really off course, but yeah, man. I thought I heard people yelling outside. It's like, the fuck? I was like, Dean, they're here. They're here.
The government's been listening to us in this camera. They've already learned all the secrets.
Shit. I've only got 5 seconds. Release the dead man switch.
Oh god, Blackhawks are outside. We gotta run.
It's like a rival subreddit. They're like, all right, assholes, shut it down. Yeah, I don't know, man. Do you think what was I gonna say? When do you think they're gonna declassify the Aurora? Because god damn it exists, and I will never stop believing.
Yeah, the shock waves and the stuff on Google Maps. It's clearly there's even areas of black holes of money just being spent. Like there's definitely a project out there that's taking a lot of money from the U.S. government. So so of course the Aurora is the best decision because freaking Mach 6 spy plane, of course. Yeah. But the Aurora, just like the SR-72, the SR, at the beginning it was in the A12. Mm-hmm. That was complete secrecy. The CIA, they just had no one except for like a few people and the pilots know about. It's out in Area 51. Like probably some of the people at Area 51 didn't even know it existed. There was a top secret fastest airplane on the planet just sitting right there at the next hangar over. It was like only until like maybe when the SR-71 had its time to shine and started flying around for the Air Force that it was really declassified, as it would make contact with ATCs and such. People would notice it. There would be photos of the SR-71 by the official Air Force. So I think the Aurora would be declassified once it's put into service, like military actual service during wartime, because the SR-71 used during the Vietnam. It was flying missions over Vietnam for photo reconnaissance and mostly for Russia, but it was during the Vietnam War that the whole program was in quotations declassified as hey, there's a freaking Mach 3 airplane that's been flying around for us. We have and the Russians can't even catch up to it. Their fastest fighters at the MiG-25 can only sustain Mach 3 for like a minute, 5 minutes. This thing can stay Mach 3 for like maybe for most of its flight. So maybe if a large scale war ever comes up, and they'll probably say, "Yo, check out this Mach 6 airplane that you guys been calling the Aurora. It's pretty cool." Yeah. But right now it will stay classified like everything, because even the F-117, again, declassified during wartime. No one knew about the F-117, and now everyone knows about it because it was used to do bombing raids. It really just takes a war to bring out the black projects. Yeah. Even Manhattan Project. Yeah. Knew about this until Hiroshima and Nagasaki were obliterated.
Yeah. It was no one knew about it. It was literally just. Yeah, it was only the people that were working on it and the Russian spies. Yeah. Well, not even and on the plane it was just Paul Tibbets and the bombardier. No one else on the plane even knew what it was. It was just like it was heavily guarded by military police when they were boarding on the plane. Like no one could get near the bombing the B-29s used for the mission, and no one knew what this is because this giant egg is being loaded to a plane. They're removing the bomb bay doors and putting a giant egg in there. What is this? Yeah, and like logically, if you just followed like linear, it would be like it wasn't bigger than like the Grand Slam bomb. Like it's probably even smaller in some scenarios. Yeah, so it wasn't even like, oh, this thing must be bigger. It was just like, oh, maybe this is whatever. And then it was just like, there was this. It's like, there was a second sunrise today. Like, it was like, okay. Yeah, you know how Hiroshima was just... So, our city's gone. Just completely. It's like, oh, it was bombed. It's like, no, it's gone. It's not there. It is not there. It was there. It's not there anymore. My hand's open. Now my hand's closed. See how my fingers just aren't there anymore? Hiroshima. Yeah, exactly. So I think the Aurora spy plane will be declassified once, like, a full... breaks out, and the reconnaissance plane is shown to say, plane, it's cool, it's a black project, we're actually telling you about it, and it's used during wartime. Enemies beware, we have speed. It's a deterrence. Declassifying can be a deterrence. It can be, this is what we have. It's it's like Dr. Strangelove, like they build the doomsday device and don't tell anyone. He's like, why would you not tell anyone? That is the whole purpose. Like, it is the deterrence. Like, Well, and you don't even need to look at like all the evidence of like, you know, double shock waves, like skyquakes, like spottings, funding. Just logical. They retired the SR-71 with no replacement.
They need reconfidence at some point.
Yeah, no replacement. Oh, really? We just retired it? This silver bullet of a weapon that could just, nothing could stop it. We could get images real time.
Yeah, so
not satellite images.
And the black holes of money just going into funding. It seems clear that there's going to be something that's going to pop up.
I think it's been there. Like, Lockheed Martin announced the SR-72 in November 2013. Announced. Yeah. To me, that they said they announced development. I remember they said it will be ready in 20 to 30 years. And I remember my brother, who did like Air Force research, told me, he said that's lingo for it's been operational for 20 or 30 years. Like he said that's what it means. We'll be ready in 20 years. That means it's been flying for 20 years. But we have the SR-71. We know how unstoppable this thing was, and it's. And everyone
catch it, no missile can shoot it down.
Exactly.
The only problem is you could still track it. It just couldn't be shot down.
Yeah, and like, but the thing is like, so the arguments of is, well, we have spy satellites now. That's why there's no need for a recon plane. Well, no, you can track spy satellites too. When the Russian
and they can be shot down still. Like, think about that F-15 mission where they shot down a satellite. Yeah. They had an F-15 fire a missile, hit an old American satellite. They can still be shot down. They're not going as fast. But
or not even that.
The SR-71 and such, they just flew past it.
Yeah, and it can maneuver. And X-37 can maneuver. A satellite, for the most part, aside from changing angle, you can't. They're not.
Yeah, it only has it probably has like a couple of RCS thrusters on it.
Yeah.
That only moves like really slow. It's kind of like dumping fuel for engine thrusts.
Yeah.
It's just going to move the thing a little bit. But a missile, it has an entire rocket engine. It can make those calculations in like a second, re-angle, and then hit.
Yeah, so I just don't I never got fully behind the argument of like, we have spy satellites that are a million times better than the SR-71. We don't need it, and they're in space. Well, they also, despite the technology, there will always be atmospheric distortions, and not only that, you don't even need to track them. You just got to track them once, and then it's just a math problem. This is where they will. Yeah. You'll be able to tell where they'll be in 2,117 days from now. It's an unchanging math problem.
And so exactly which cities it's going to pass over.
Exactly. Not only that. We used to shoot fucking lasers up at the ones going over Area 51. Not only did we know when they were coming and we'd pull the planes into the hangars, we used to shoot fucking lasers just because it would just blind them. So you can do that. You can't do that with a plane. It's much harder. Yeah. Like you said, it doesn't even matter if you can track it. If you can't hit it, then it doesn't matter. So
yeah. If the target can't be hit, then it's practically just out of our reach. It's impossible to do anything against.
Exactly. So I don't take that as a valid explanation for why there was no public successor to the SR-71. We have spies that really the SR-71, which you could have it up, you could have it mission ready, you could have it up and going from air bases all over the world.
Funniest thing is, the U-2 is still in service, actually.
Yes, exactly. We still use it. So it's like, really? There's no... Sure, you don't need an SR-71 over Iraq or, ISIS in Africa. But if shit hits the fan with China or Russia or Pakistan or India, you're telling me you don't want...
Auroras.
Really? You want to pull the SR-71 out? You want to take all the time of getting that thing up and mission ready again? You're telling me that there's not already just a fucking fleet of Speedy Boys ready to go? Like,
yeah.
No, bullshit. Fuck you. It's no, goddamn.
Yeah. You can't just say you're not going to replace it without already. You can't just. It's a spy plane that can go faster than anything that we've ever seen, cannot be hit, and is probably like the best feat of technology. And you say you can't have a replacement? That's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing then? Are you just putting all your faith into NASA for doing your job?
Yeah, no. It's satellites are only and not only that. Let's say there's like time sensitive intel. Like, oh, there's a development in wherever, Bangladesh. We need images now. Well, hey, our nearest satellite isn't going to be there until 3 more rotations.
Yeah.
Oh, we're fucked.
Satellites are slow.
Yeah, it was like, oh, we're fucked. No, you're going to want something that can just get the fuck in there below cloud level from an angle that no one else knew. It's not a satellite where they can predict it coming, And
they probably don't, and again, they don't even know it exists.
Exactly.
Like the enemies, they're probably maybe one Russian spy that probably knows about some sort of secret plane because Russian spies are everywhere. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, they're sneaky. Yeah.
They could be one right now if you
They could be now. They could be now. Yeah, it's.
Yeah. But if they don't know, if they don't even know about the spy plane, they don't even see it coming. Satellites. Everyone knows about that. Everyone knows there's a satellite up in space, probably right above your head right now. Mm-hmm. There's like 1 million of them in space right now. So, so it's easier to think, we can just, if we do this quick enough, they won't get any aerial reconnaissance because their satellites will not be overhead. And they see something zoom pass by at Mach 3 and be like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, not even that. Mach 6 now. It's like...
Yeah, those with the Aurora and the SR-72, they're claimed to be hitting Mach 6.
Yeah. And not only that, they said the Aurora is going to have drone capabilities, just like the B-21, and this is going to have a strike capability. So it's going to be this fucker's going to be going over there. Not only can it snap pictures in real time, it can also, instead of send the imagery back to command and they decide we need to take it out, they can do that one and the same. They can do one pass, there it is, do a 100-mile U-turn, fucking hit it again.
Yeah, that's also confusing me about the XB-70 because, again, where's this replacement? It's a feat of engineering. There's a progression of the aircraft from going from the B-47 to the B-1 Lancer, the XB-70. And then it just stops.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn on the heater. Keep talking. I'm turning on the heater.
The B-2 is something of its else because it's a stealth plane. Okay, it's probably a plane that was it in the first place is the F-117 because that was technically more of a bomber. It's actually more of a bomber / attack aircraft, but they made a different label for a diversion. They literally called it a fighter, so people think it's a fight. So the enemy military thinks, it's a fighter, but really it's just a bomber. It has no onboard guns. It just has a bomb bay. But the B-2 is probably the next progression of that. But the XB-70 stops right there. There's no other faster bomber.
Exactly. It's like we go to B-52 and then we go to XB-70 and there was an accident. There's the photograph accident.
Yeah, the F-104 crashing and such.
Yeah, and it's like, so what? We just don't go past that? Because you're telling me General LeMay just said, oh yeah, you're right, it crashed. It's like they're going to crash in combat. The stuff people will die. So we're just going to stop? No, we didn't stop that with Apollo 1. We didn't stop that with the X-15. We kept going. It's not what the fuck.
Yes, the A-12 as well. It had a crash, the A-12 during its initial testing. It had a crash where it crashed out in the desert. The plane was completely obliterated. Mostly what's left was the cockpit, which the pilot had after ejecting.
Yeah.
But the A-12 still went on to do missions over Vietnam and transformed into the SR-71 and the YF-12.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but you're right. You're right. It's just that's another one I have a hard time believing is the XB-70 up training accident. So we just cut it because of that? Really?
Yeah.
This thing that can fly at higher than the same height and speed as the SR-71.
It's just a really big SR-71 that can carry a nuclear payload.
Yeah, it can carry and it's bigger than the B-52. It's bigger than the B-52, and it can fly like the SR-71. And there was a training accident, and you're just saying, "Oh, stop! We're not going to do it anymore." You're telling me General LeMay was just like, "Yeah, we shouldn't do that." Goddamn bombs away LeMay, that guy. It's
they definitely have they definitely have some other very fast bomber that's got to drop a nuclear payload in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
somewhere. I don't know. It could be just a modified Aurora. It could just be some sort of modified spy plane. But they got to have one.
Yes, and it's not just the same as. It's the same thing as well, why do you need that when you have an ICBM? It's the same argument of satellites. Like, once they go up, like, you know where they're going.
And the whole Star Wars initiative, where they just put lasers in space and such, and to take out ICBMs. We've clearly shown ways that we can just take out ICBMs before they reach their target. So that's still why bombers are still kind of not shoved into the relic of the past, because they can still drop a nuclear payload in like seconds.
Yeah.
With fast ones like the XB-70 and such.
Yeah, and I mean, and we know it's been this way since like the 70s, that there are satellite networks on both sides that their sole purpose is to detect the launch plume of a missile. If you can get some fucking super stealthy bomber, that's how you outdo that. And you don't know the trajectory. It can be making a beeline towards Moscow, and then fucking, and then
just take a 90-degree turn, and bam, it's all the way over down in Africa.
Exactly.
And then it takes another turn, and it's back in the Americas.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like SR-71 being replaced by satellites. I just don't fully buy that there's no SR-72 and that there's no XB-70, and not just a modified Aurora, but like a full-on, like, in the two separate planes, a bomber and recon. Like,
it also brings up the thing about the whole TR-3B, the black triangle and such. That could be the next bomber. It is diamond shaped. It's really fast. There's still, again, there's a black hole of technology, and then there's just sightings, and we haven't, and there's no major work going on to declassify this stuff. So, so what's happening? What are these black projects that they have that they're saying that don't exist? So brings up a whole load of questions.
And it's just the gap in technology evolution. It's like our technology evolved so wildly between like 1940 and like 1965, 1970.
You go back into the 19th century, they just made cars. You go 40 years later, they've developed nuclear bomb technology.
Yes. Yeah.
They've developed jet engines. They've made the plane so fast, and then it just capped out once the Cold War stopped. It's just like, okay, we're done. That's it. Okay, we're good. No more black projects.
Yeah, it's like bull fucking shit. Like, bullshit. It's like, I mean, even just look at, it's like that meme, the one that you brought up earlier. It's like TV 1963, TV 2020, car. And it's just like literally dashboard of a car, dashboard of a Tesla. Like, it's
SR-71 in 1960. What's in 20?
And then it's just like we retired that in 1990. Like, that's okay. So that's just gone. No, fuck you. Like, it's the computers didn't stop with big shitty Dells. Like, I have a MacBook now that can run circles around. My current Mac, my 2019 MacBook, could demolish an entire goddamn conference room full of 1995 Dells. It could take on 100 of them at once.
Like what we were talking about earlier, how mobile phone technology, the older iPhones made at the start of 2000s, it could barely run Angry Birds. My phone nowadays, it has like so much space. I can probably have like I can have like a bunch of photos on it, and it'd be like, this is fine. This is all fine for me.
Yeah, I went from an iPhone 4 to an iPhone 8 this past Christmas. This thing is, I've got 95 full titles on Audible. I've got like 600 documentaries downloaded on YouTube. I've got 33,000 photos. 33,000 photos. And it's still, I've used like 10% of its memory. This thing doesn't even get hot when I use it. Like, and not only that, we'll be looking back at this podcast in 5 years and be like, look at that asshole, 33,000 photos. I've got 33 billion, something like that. And to think that it's not going to be the same thing and in 5 years, we're still going to be going, oh yeah, no, the F-22 is the end all be all. No, it's not. I get worked up.
Yeah.
I get very angry. What do you think is going to be the replacement for the F-22?
They're saying the F-35, but I think the F-35 program is kind of a
No.
is a bunch of bullshit because the aircraft's like useless.
Yeah, and it's already outdated.
It's just like it's okay. Yeah, it's a virtual aircraft. Yeah, it's stealth. Yeah, it looks cool. But but the F-22 seems to be the better version of that program. And the Air Force has already made designs of a naval F-22, the YF-24 Tomcat 2. It's just an F-22 with swing wings.
Wait,
it's just
really?
an F-22 with swing wings that can operate off a carrier. That's it.
Wait, really?
Here, let me. I don't know if it's real or not, but I definitely have photos of a F-22 that can operate off a carrier. I don't know where that photo is. Raptor.
Oh, okay.
With swing wings and everything. You can see right here the F-22. Mm-hmm. It's just an F-22, and it has swing wings. So it is an official Air Force drawing. That would be a better replacement for the F-35 because the F-22 is better than the F-35 in every way. And if we have a navalized version, it can operate off carriers, which makes it better for strike teams into other countries. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like the F-35 program, bunch of bull.
Yeah.
That is definitely not a replacement for the F-22. The F-22 is currently probably is the stand-in for the best replacement being the Gen 5 fighter jets, but there's always the Gen 6 concepts like the FAXX. You seen that? I think that's posted on FunnerHistory once.
FAXX, the PCA,
the X-44, all those. They're Gen 6 fighter jets that will probably be the next in line, but we don't know because the Air Force is busy building Gen 5 fighter jets like the F-22 and the F-35 and such.
Yeah. Why? This is a stupid question. Why would the F-22 need swept wings? Would it be for storage?
Yeah, I'm guessing that would be the major thing of swept wings because
it doesn't need it for speed. It already super cruises.
I don't know. I think my best guess is for carrier availability because the main difference between a naval fighter and a ground fighter is one, they have a tow cable so they can catch onto runway decks, and two, their wings fold so there's more space on a carrier because they're so small.
Yeah.
Routes are really small, even though they're huge. They're nothing compared to an actual airfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's probably why the F-22 naval has a swept wing because it's easier to go on the carriers.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to add folding wings like an F-18.
Yeah.
I think they get rid of the stealth part of the kind of having that hinge there.
Now, what about? Have you ever thought about the idea that the F-35 is actually just a smokescreen to funnel funding into something else?
Highly likely, considering
$1 trillion.
Aurora,
$1 trillion.
TR-3 all that will, and the B-21. That F-35 is probably just.
I think it's a smokescreen. I think it's a smokescreen.
Plus, you know what's really weird? They're selling the F-35 to other countries, but not the F-22. The F-22 stays only U.S., but the F-35 is with the JDSF, the Belgian Air Force.
Yeah, that's how you know it's not really. That's how you know it's not the bee's
I think
knees.
It's giving to African countries, or the Middle East countries, like countries that do not have the money for this kind of stuff. They're still buying a couple of those F-35s.
Yeah.
So the F-22. It's just a U.S. fighter.
No one else gets it because it's truly the best one. It's truly the better model out of the F-35 and such. We don't even sell F-117s to other people.
No,
exactly.
We didn't even. None of the F-14s got sold until they were put out of the service with the military. And then they got sold to Iran and such, just smaller countries, because the F-14 was kind of an aging product, and we had all the nice fighters like the F-18. So the F-22 and the F-35, the F-35 clearly seems to be a fake, just a show of saying, yo, we have this epic aircraft, but it's totally not the epic aircraft we're building. It's just a little something to keep you off track.
Exactly. It's because you can't put that much, like the black budget isn't as massive as everyone. I mean, it's massive, but like the defense budget's like what, 736 billion. The black budget's what? It's like 50. It's If you want to make some truly insane shit, you're gonna need more than 50. And it's So what better way to do it than say, here's the F-35, here's this thing. Yeah, it's got a couple bells and whistles that make you think it's worth it. Oh, it takes off vertically. Well, okay, I guess that's...
It's a stealth plane that can operate off destroyers.
Yeah, like, okay. It's got a couple selling points that you could go, okay. But it's like the Harrier didn't cost $1 trillion.
Yeah, the Harrier was... The Harrier, the Russian ones, like the Yak-38 and the Yak-141.
Yeah.
They were Vertol jets, and they clearly did well. And I think maybe a couple of Harriers are still in service with some military. I don't know which one, but I think some of them still exist at this point.
Yeah, so it seems like the F-35 is, like maybe the F-35. Maybe it's like the F-35 is like, it's like an unwinning design. Like the F-22 beat out the YF-23. Like maybe the F-35 was like a second place design for something, and they're like, fuck it, let's just make a fleet of them. Like, they're not bad, we can sell them to other countries, but it's clearly, it's the mindset would be, let's take 6th generation fighter funding, produce a 4th generation fighter plane, and you take the rest and you produce a 7th,
so there's definitely going to be something out there that can go really fast and is like probably the most best fighter to ever see combat.
Yeah, it's
just sitting in a hangar at Area 51 waiting to be used, or like Plant 42 or something like that, secret airfield.
Yeah, it's because, but even like but like the B-21, like we know it's going to be the best thing ever, but it has like its distinct funding. It's like the F-35 would be. That smokescreen would be for something that like you can't even say is classified. I mean, how ironic. The F-35, there's $1 trillion and we got nothing to show for it. And then, oh, what a coincidence. We're announcing the Space Force. Like, I wonder where that trillion...
So, Aurora?
Yeah. Oh, we're just gonna what? We're just gonna wheel out these like troop transports, these hypersonic, like single stage to orbit, like... Oh yeah, no, we had to build them for the Space Force. Of course we have them. It's just like, wait, what? Where'd this come from? That has like CIA like disinfo written all over it. Like,
it's just saying this is not real. Don't think about this. No.
Yeah, like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, have you heard of that conspiracy that like we purposely crashed that stealthy Black Hawk taking out Bin Laden? It's like, because what better way to like leave that there and be like, oh no, our best thing, we left it there, I hope no one finds it, oh my gosh, you found it. Like, I hope you don't reverse engineer it and use it for your stuff. That would be terrible. That was our best thing. We have nothing better than that. So stop looking. Really?
Yeah.
You don't think there's like 3 generations above that? Like, oh no, I hope China doesn't get this. Like, I bet there was fucking GPS tagging on every goddamn panel on that thing. And now we're watching, okay, this thing got chopped apart and sold. Where did it go on Earth? Okay, this is where the black market trails are. It's like...
Yeah. They can probably see that those parts are making like the SU-57 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and you can literally see where they're traveling. Be like, okay, here are these. This is where these black markets are. Okay. Oh, we didn't know there was one there. Okay, that's good to know. Like,
they're also finding out factories of where this material is being produced.
Yep.
Like,
where is it being reverse engineered?
Are probably making some other stealth fighter to like the Su-57.
Yeah.
They're probably seeing. Hey, look, we didn't notice this Russian factory before.
Yeah.
How unlucky.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we left a tracking device.
Oh, no, we left it.
Doopsie.
Oh, no, you're telling me that not even a Navy SEAL...
Another target for our nice Aurora bomber?
Exactly. Which, it's... Oh, you're telling me SEAL Team 6? Not even the Navy SEALs. SEAL Team 6. You're telling me that the most elite goddamn killers, they crashed their helicopter? What? No, fuck off. That's absolutely
that is clearly a bucketable.
It's like the F-35. Like, oh no, we're spending $1 trillion on it. Like,
on a
Oh
fighter
no,
that's,
it
like,
keeps getting
suboptimal.
delayed. And and what's the perfect? Oh, it's a bunch of defense contractors pocketing the money. Like, again, another perfect smokescreen. Yeah, it's the corrupt defense contract. The Department of Defense. If there's money going somewhere, it's on purpose. The Department of Defense doesn't get bamboozled for $1 trillion. No one fucks the fucker.
There is no just the F-35 is just the step is there. It's, hey, the F-35. There's definitely like probably like Area 51's probably full of black projects that are just waiting for wartime to show up and be like, haha, we had this the whole entire time.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
It's like, dude, nuclear powered submarines in the 50s. Like the SR-71 and goddamn 63, 64. Like, no, I don't buy any of it.
Back in the 1970s.
Yes. It's I don't buy it. But yeah, what a better smokescreen. The F-35. Oh no, it's costing us so much money. Oh no, we got to keep dumping money into it. Oh no, no one look over here. No one look at the goddamn Space Force that was just announced. No one look at the X-37. You know, the thing that's going up there for 900 days in a row? Oh, that's nothing. That's scooch that under the rug. That's not, the F-35. OMG.
Talking about the giant black hole of money that's going into funding for something that doesn't exist.
Exactly. Oh no, we crashed our chopper right where we took out Bin Laden. I hope they don't find it. Like, like, literally, that's like going somewhere and like, oh no, like, it's like the guy I had on the other day, the Air Force interrogator, was talking about like a way to like access programs. Like, what do? You break in and you throw a thumb drive in the parking lot. Someone's gonna pick it up and use it. It wasn't an accident. Oh no, I hope they don't find my thumb drive. Like, oh no, I hope they don't find my stealth hawk.
Like, there is no way the government can make accidents like that. If they're going to make accidents, it's probably just going to be something stupid as in, okay, there was some F-22 accident where it got shot down.
Or like the B-2.
That's an accident because, hey, it's wartime. What are you going to expect? The F-22 is going to be put into combat. But if it's something like a stealth helicopter for like the deadliest team crashing out near Bin
Laden's compound in Aurora,
just saying, no, the helicopter's down. No. Just, you can't.
Yeah. And if that thing was as like at the tip of the spear as they said it would, we wouldn't have just put some C4 on it and broke it up. You gotta go.
No, I think my mom just got home.
Oh. I was gonna say you can go if you want.
No, fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not the government yet.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, but it's like, it's the idea that like this thing just crashed and that was it. Like, oh no, put some demo charges on it and then that's it. But we have to leave it here. No, I don't believe that at all. I don't believe it at all. Like, I don't know what it would be, but now, do you think that there's a replacement fighter already? Or do you think the F-22 is going to keep seeing the bulk of the service? Because F-22 is
the F-22 is technically not put into. It's not. No one's making the F-22 anymore. They just. Yes. It's all that going to the F-35. The F-22 had like a limited amount of aircraft which are in service. So the F-22 is definitely not going to be the next follow-up fighter because there's none being made. So there's definitely going to be some sort of Gen 6 fighter sitting at Plant 42. That is being made right now. There's definitely a fighter somewhere. This is the problem is no one would know what it looks like. The most common theory is that it's going to be tailless, but I don't know why it wouldn't have a tail. But
if they can pull it off,
I guess it makes it stealthier because the B-2 is literally just looks like a bird. It has no big tail fin on the end of the plane. It has those crazy rudders on the wings. So I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's definitely going to be a stealthy fighter that can outmaneuver any other fighter and can go at like probably Mach 2, Mach 3, probably fastest fighters we'll ever see since the MiG-25.
Yeah. Do you think it would be pilotless because they'd want it to be able to maneuver while also pulling Mach 3?
Yeah, if there's gonna be a fighter that's coming up anytime soon, it's definitely gonna have a drone. There's no way that the government's not gonna make a drone out of this. It's highly likely that drone fighters for this mysterious black fighter is gonna exist.
Yeah, and it's like there's the huge pilot shortage in the Air Force. People are like, with a pilot shortage, we don't have enough like fighter pilots anymore. Really? You think the U.S. government's just going, oh no, we don't have enough pilots. Looks like we're no longer the world's air power. No. You make drones. You make goddamn drones. It's just like, you don't need
Predators, the Global Hawks, the X-47.
The Reaper, yeah, you don't need, well, you do need pilots, but you don't need pilots that can sit in the craft. You can just, like the drone pilots have had on.
It's literally, those drone controls are just a bunch of Macs put onto this big crazy joystick system. It's really weird, but yeah, but you can literally but those things have such good connection. You could be sitting here where I am and still can able to bomb a drone, use a drone to bomb some enemy target in the middle of Syria, like halfway across the planet.
Yeah. There's no lag. They don't do lag. It's
not like a bank security camera.
It's internet that but yeah, I mean, I feel like now the next step after just drones are, when do they become autonomous? So they're not even piloted by a dude in Nevada. When do you think because that's the ultimate step? Now you don't even need to train pilots.
The drone wars, when everything is a drone at that point. Like humans are not even sitting on any vehicles except for during repairs. It's like at that point there's going to be autonomous drones doing their own jobs. But right now we don't really got that kind of technology. Like, it's hard enough just to pilot a missile to hit a target, and that's just a small little rocket with fins. So piloting an entire working aerial vehicle is going to be a lot harder for a drone to calculate itself and do missions over. So it'll be in the future when drones are everything. When everything is automated. And does its own.
But the real power in that is that if it's just, you don't need a pilot anymore, if it's just a software protocol, because now you can have an army of 3,000 fighter jets, and not only that, you can just put them all away when you're not using them. You don't got to keep 3,000 pilots, on payroll. You don't got to keep them on base, rotating in and out, moving them around, keeping them trained up to date. You can just have one pilot, and he's the one designing everything. Because, and let's say you have 3,000, but now wartime's coming up and you quickly double it to 6,000. Well, then all you got to do is build them. You don't need to train 3,000 more pilots. You just build 3,000 more. And you don't need to put them on, aircraft carriers. If these little things are just shit, you could put them in missile tubes, put them on destroyers and frigates. One guy, Dahir, he made those. He made that robot truck that can camouflage. Like, it's a small little Mars rover looking thing with treads. It's just practically a way so if an enemy tank convoy is coming through, it shows itself and then it just fires the shell. So there's definitely the drones in the future where it's so small. You plant it in, and then it can still kill a tank and such. Yeah. What do you think is going to be the replacement for the M1 Abrams? That's what I want to know.
There's a thing kind of passing around of the M1A3, which is just a stealthier Abrams, like a PL-01 made out of an Abrams. So there's the main thing. Once Poland made the stealth tank, everyone's like, stealth tank, this is cool. It's all stealth nowadays. It's all going back to stealth because spooky.
But how stealthy can a tank really be? I mean, I know you can make them stealthy, but like, what's the real value in it? Because they're not going at Mach 3; they're coming over the hill.
I think it's kind of like because you know how tanks can have camouflage on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you some tanks, like if you look back at World War II, they had bushes on their stuff, they had painted and such. You can do that to tanks nowadays. You can still do that. Like the M1 Abrams, it's painted yellow for the desert. There's certain versions of it that are painted green, and brown for forest missions and such. But like a stealth Abrams still can be stealthy. It just needs to have that kind of slopes to it, and then it can have camo and such. Because tanks nowadays, they have kind of like have different visions, like seeing night vision, thermal, and all that. It's easier for targeting enemy tanks when they're camouflaged like that. But if you have a stealth tank, that stuff reflects right off. It looks like just a really thick bush, and then suddenly you get shot by that really thick bush.
Yeah, yeah, surprise, motherfucker! Like
Yeah, you're thinking that's a really big bush. Then suddenly that big bush fires an AP round, and there goes your ammo rack.
Yeah, there goes everyone you know.
So I think the next evolution to the Abrams is definitely going to be stealth tanks, like the the supposed M1A3, or other knockoffs of the PL01 stealth tank. Some other stuff like that. Like even this concept of the Jagged Abrams, which is just an Abrams as a tank destroyer. It's stealthy. That concept is stealthy, but it was made by someone that's not, I hope is not affiliated with the military in any way. It's just a little fun drawing.
What do you think about railgun tanks?
Railguns?
If the technology keeps progressing. I remember being in high school and reading Popular Science in like 2007. And then saying, like, railguns are never going to be a thing because it's just too far away. Yet, here we are. We got the electricity down pat. We did it.
It's definitely going to be in the future thing because railguns currently are pretty massive.
Yes.
Because they have such complex systems. To fire something as small as, like, maybe about that, you gotta have a gun that probably takes up the entire space of this room.
Yeah.
It's not gonna fit in an Abrams, except if you want to have like a Gustav kind of concept going with like this giant gun on this little body.
But not now. In time, it will get
maybe
smaller.
2030 or something, there's going to be a railgun that's small enough to fit into the barrel of a tank, and probably a stealth tank.
Yeah.
So, again, with the M1A3, there'll probably be railgun modifications to fire railguns at enemy tanks.
Yeah. Imagine railgun tanks. Like, just there's virtually no delay between firing and hitting. Like, on the range that tanks are fighting, like, and not only that goes through any armor. Goddamn Mach 7 projectile.
And then if you have a stealth tank, they don't even see you. They just drive right past it, and then their tank is gone. It's just gone. There's no such thing as armor when it's compared to a stealth railgun tank.
Exactly, a stealth railgun. Like, it's going to be the SR, like the SR-71, the SR Abrams, stealth railgun. It's, but
nice.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fuck with that, like, because you can have those on bases. It's gonna, I don't know. What about like tank launched drones? Like what if you could just put, a little tiny drone in just
like the concept from World War II. Nazis had an idea to extend the Tiger hole and put a V1 rocket onto it. So I'm guessing it's something what you're referencing there. Just slapping a V1 on that bit.
Yeah, it's just like yeet.
Yeah, definitely. Like if we learned with unguided rockets, like the Katyushas and such, that and the Calliopes, that unguided rockets can be attached to tanks. Now it's only, and we've learned from other anti-air vehicles that guided missiles can be launched from tanks. Like if you look at the Tungsta anti-air vehicle that has guns that can shoot down planes and anti-air missiles for planes that are out of range. That thing is really powerful.
Yeah.
So there'll definitely be progression of like a really small drone, like a mini Predator that can just launch out the back of a M1 Abrams to deliver a small drone strike. Like even then, there's technology that proves this is possible, from unguided rocket tanks like the Katyushas, and guided rocket tanks like anti-air tanks, the V1 launching tanks, even naval vessels, how they've tested with seaplanes. Like there's special, like for battleships, they don't have a deck. They don't have any area to take off a plane. So what do? They attach a ramp to the back of the boat, put a seaplane on it. The seaplane uses the catapult, and wants to get back on the boat. It lands in the water, and a crane just grabs it and puts it back. Yeah. So that's kind of the concept that I'm thinking is it would launch off the back of a tank, deliver a small strike of like a 1,000-pound bomb or something just onto an enemy area, fly back, land on the ground, then a small crane would pick it up, put it back, probably reload it, launch again. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there could be entire aircraft carriers that are just drones. You could fit 500. The X-47. You could fit 1,000 of them. Imagine just folding them all up and literally just like almost like rotary launchers, like the 747.
Oh yeah, like that the B-52 rotaries.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say it's. Imagine just putting a bunch of drones on an aircraft carrier. Like,
it doesn't even need to have to be an aircraft carrier. It can be a torpedo boat, like a patrol boat, like something you can go to Bass Pro Fishing Shop, buy a yacht, and then shove a bunch of drones onto that and start firing.
Yeah, well, that would actually even make more sense, because why limit yourself to 10 aircraft carriers when you could have 1,000 of these ships all over the world? You don't gotta like, we're sending a carrier. You always see in every action movie, like, we're sending a carrier fleet. Like, no, like, why not just have boats? For that matter, why not put them in shipping containers and just put them on, I don't know, U.S. ships all over the world?
That's another one of Dahir Insat's design was a truck. Like a semi-truck that would pull up outside like an airbase or a naval vessel. The trailer of the truck would fold out to this giant drone, fly up, and then it had like a Vulcan can in it, like multiple anti-air and unguided rockets. It was like the AC-130 or something.
I think I've seen that. It's got like helicopter propellers almost.
Yeah, it's like one of those quadcopters, but like
it's
super
massive.
big.
Yeah, it's like 100 feet wide.
So that would be and that just goes onto the back of a truck.
Exactly.
There's even a variant that he made of a smaller one that can go into like a car. It can go into like a trailer, a small little trailer that you can pull in the back of your like minivan or something. Yeah. That folds out, turns into a drone, and takes a strike onto a tank base.
Yeah, it's. I gotta go to the bathroom again, dude. I drink so much water.
Yeah, I need to go as well.
Okay, all right. We'll be right back. All right. Yeah, there's a guy that might do my podcast later today who does wingsuits.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm finding, just to find guests, I'll just go to like subreddits of something interesting. Like have you ever seen the subreddit of laser cleaning?
No, I've not seen that.
It's where they use lasers to remove like rust.
Oh,
it's insane.
I have a machine over there that I think uses lasers to remove like bacteria off your phone. It's really interesting.
That's badass.
Yeah.
But this stuff looks like some like goddamn Halo shit. It's they'll literally, dude, they'll go in and they'll take like an old hubcap from like a 1950s like Lincoln, and it'll be like, orange with rust, and this line will just go over it, and it's just perfect chrome under it. Yeah. So I went on there.
Wow.
And I was like, this is a cool subreddit. So I just made a post. I was like, anyone want to do my podcast? Just talk about bullshit. I already had some guy that's like, yeah, man, I'll do it. So that's how I'm finding the way to go, is because it's like people I have on, I don't go like in depth because I don't have knowledge of it. So I literally can just pitch it as like, hey, dude, these are like underhand questions. Like, I'm not working for Laser Cleaning Quarterly. I don't have an education in this. I'm like, do they use batteries? Like, what kind of lasers are these? Like, do
we have fusion energy connected to them or something?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I sell the podcast to people. I'm like, it's no preparation, man. We're just so the guy I had on that drove that armored truck. Mm-hmm. I found another guy on some other much bigger podcast. It's like has like 1 million subscribers, but it's this dude that was a guest, and he's famous because he like successfully robbed an armored truck and went to prison, got out of prison, now he's fine, has a wife and kids, and he goes on like speaking circuits, and he try to like help people who are going down like a bad road of like drugs and crime. Really heartwarming story. But it's this dude who talks about planning and robbing this truck, and I sent it to the bank truck driver. I was like, "Yo, dude, look at this," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember learning about him when we were being trained." Like, and I was like, and he was like, "Dude, what if you had us both on for a single?" I was like, "Oh shit!" So we both emailed this guy because he has like a company, like a speaking company. I want to try to have on this bank truck driver with a bank truck robber. Yeah, that'll be.
Help them compete over what's better.
Yeah, that'll be. I think that would be an interesting podcast. But yeah, man. Do you think that there will? I don't see taking it in a completely different direction. So they're obviously not producing the A380 anymore.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the. They're making more money with smaller planes with better.
The A350, all those twin engine long range.
Mm-hmm. The Neo, the Dreamliner,
yeah. All that's coming out. The big four engines are being replaced and such.
Yeah, but god damn it, if there's just not something so alluring about an A380 or 747, just this monster.
It's just because it's so big. It just
doesn't look right. It almost looks.
You get a feeling of small.
Yeah.
It's like it's 2 decks. There's like this thing's like a hotel. It looks like a hotel that has 4 engines. It's like bigger than any aircraft you've ever seen. It has 4 giant engines. It's 747-8. It was the longest aircraft until the Strata launch because the Strata launch beats everything. But but if we're not putting the Strata launch into the biggest aircrafts, it was the longest from nose to tail aircraft.
The 747-8.
The 8.
Sorry, got a brick of ice here.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Let that melt.
Yeah. But there's something. I mean, I get it. It's not. It's clearly more economical to have a lot of smaller planes. Hey, I'm gonna turn on my laptop fan. Tell me if it's too loud because we have headphones on.
No, sounds kind of fine.
This is not annoying.
When we start talking, I can't even hear it. So
really, if it's bad,
if it's dead silence, if we just stop talking, I just hear the straight whir. But when we start talking, I just don't hear it.
So like right now.
Yeah, I can hear it a tiny bit.
But it's not like oppressive.
No.
Okay.
Not in any way. And I'm guessing we're going to be talking a lot, so it won't. I don't think that will pop up until like a break.
Yeah. No, it's just my laptop's starting to get hot. But yeah, but there's something about the A380 and the 747 that it's just you almost have to like suspend logic. Like, yeah, I get it. Maybe they're not the most efficient, but goddamn, if there's not something just like alluring about them.
It's just so giant. It's a double deck.
They're inspiring.
It's a double deck that really gets everyone.
It's like there's a goddamn staircase in this plane. Like,
yeah,
they're inspiring. They draw you in, even if like you're not into aviation. If you see like, I've never seen an A380 ever, but I mean, I imagine if I saw one like taxiing at the airport, is that not something that you just kind of stop and just be like, even if you knew nothing about planes, would you not be like, look at this?
If you talk to someone that has nothing to do with aviation and call them to name a plane, they're going to say the 747. It is so iconic.
Yes. And it's, I mean, I used to live in Atlanta. Like, I went to Hartsfield-Jackson. Like, up until I think a year ago, it was the busiest airport in the world. I didn't really start to get interested in planes probably like 2015. But even then, like before, like going to the airport, like even someone that's not into planes, like you can't help but like you see a couple Learjets, then you see a couple bigger ones, and then like you finally see some like just monsters in the distance, and it's like, what are those? Like you're drawn to them. Like
I actually live near, not that far from LAX. It's probably like a 2-hour drive. So when I go there, they got A380s, they got 747s, they got everything. I have
A380s?
literally sat under a 747-8 fly right over me. They're loud, they're big, but it's something just majestic about seeing that size of the aircraft that just makes it something else. Seeing the size of the giant planes just makes you kind of feel small and compared to these giant things.
Yeah, and it's let me turn on the fan. But yeah, it's like the Titanic or something. You don't even know anything about, planes, or not planes, boats, but like, if it's 1912 and you're in Belfast, Ireland, and you've, the coolest thing you've ever seen is a Model T, and then you see the Titanic, like, there's something.
It's the biggest ship that's ever made, and it's sitting right there.
Yeah. It's kind of like 747, 4-engine, 4-smokestack. It's just like, look at this thing. There's something that just draws you towards it because it's just like, it's majestic. It makes you interested in something.
It's the size. It's mostly the size that kind of affects it.
Well, that's exactly it. It's because it makes you interested in something that you never were interested in before. Because it's just, you cannot. Doesn't matter if you don't like sports. If you see someone do some insane thing on the field, you can't help but be like, what was that? Like, it draws you in. It's the same thing. Like, you see a 747, you see an A380, and it's just like, what is that? Like, that flies? And it's
but I guess also it kind of matters on the record breaking. Like,
yeah. Well, like the Titanic. Like,
these planes break records. Like the 747 recently just broke record for the longest Atlantic commercial flight, thanks to some jet wins.
Really?
Like 4 hours and 13 minutes it crossed the entire Atlantic Ocean or something. One British 747. It was like, I think 2 weeks ago actually.
Really?
That this happened.
Damn.
Yeah. So it's the 747, the A380, the Titanic, the Antonov, the Hindenburg.
Yeah.
They're all record breakers. They kind of show how much our engineering goes. And that makes them just so interesting because you're sitting inside the plane that once before broke some of the records of the largest things in existence, the fastest things in existence. All that.
Yeah, it's like the Burj Khalifa. Like,
tallest tower in existence. Everyone wants to visit that.
Exactly. Skyscrapers stop being economical past a certain height. But if you can go to the world's tallest, all of a sudden they become economical again because everyone wants to see it.
Yeah.
We've been doing it since the Great Pyramids. You just build the next tallest. No, it's not, the most but there's something that, like, New York City. Like, why do you go to New York City? Because it's just imposing.
It's building skyscrapers everywhere.
Imposing. It's just, you're like, holy, it's like nothing else. It's not like a little neighborhood of houses. It's like you're in goddamn like Coruscant. You're in a metropolis. It's just, that's why I'm so sad that they're not producing the A3. They're finishing up the orders they have, but they're not going to produce anymore. And they had. I didn't know this. Did you know the wings were actually designed with a bigger fuselage in mind?
They were planning for a bigger plane for those wings.
They were planning on the A380-1000 for 1,000 passengers. Like, that's insane. And see, I hope something like Emirates or like Etihad, just those like Saudi Arabian ones.
No, it's not Saudi Arabia. It's the UAE. Emirates and Etihad operate off the UAE where Burj Khalifa is.
I figured it was Saudi Arabia. Damn.
No.
Racist white male.
They border each other, so of course it's likely. But no, it's an
oil
entire
trillionaires.
So
you get what I'm saying? Oil trillionaires and Sandland. That's what I mean. All right.
Yeah.
And they have fleets of these things. Part of me just wishes they've got so much money that it's like they're just like, fuck it, keep building them. Like, because there is a draw about them, and I don't know. Imagine if you made the A380-1000, or what if they contracted Airbus to make, to one up the Antonov, even if just for cargo, because that would return on its investment. The Antonov 225 does. It's always booked. It's always doing something.
Yeah.
Imagine just like a fleet of whatever A480s. Like, That would be like just like, but just seeing them at the airport, like a FedEx, like even if you just made them purely cargo, not commercial.
Yeah, like your Tesla Freight X.
Freight X,
planes. Yeah.
Like, you would still just be drawn, even at the airport. You would go to air shows just to see it. Like, and granted, yeah, it's not like an air show pays the bills. I get it, but there's part of me that's just like, I get the economics, but it's also just like, no, keep building them bigger. Like, don't stop. Like, you know, I would love to see like a 6-engine A380 successor. Just something 3 decks. Just something crazy. Something, what, you know, I just don't want to see him go away. I want to see him get bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's why what I just posted before I came on this podcast, the B-57, which is just an Airbus with that has a few less windows, and it has a completely painted for the Air Force, has some gunners, can drop bombs. That's kind of that's kind of my idea of the next logical solution of the A380, like cargo and military. Military, they're going to keep this giant bomber, like the B-52. If you think about it, it's made in like the 50s. It is still around today.
It's going to go until the 2050s.
Yeah, they're still planning for like engine redesigns that can make it go bigger, it can go faster and stuff. Like I get ads for it all the time, trust me. The A380, the DC-10 still in service with FedEx. Like cargo versions, bomber versions of, military versions of the A380 could keep its lifespan till like a while until they finally get to retire it, because it's literally so outdated. It's like using it's like using a katana when fighting a freaking M60. It's like, it's really outdated. You're just gonna lose. Yeah. So
and like, but yeah, you don't even have to worry about outdated, because if the B-52 is still going, then like there's hope that like whatever you have can be stretched on forever. Like, but I'm not sure, like, what would a military A380 be used for? Because it's not longer than a Galaxy, is it? It's just got more volume.
No, the Galaxy is about the size of an A380. It's still pretty big. It's the largest military aircraft, but it's still in the same size range as the A380. I think like the E-58, that model I found, as using as a mobile flying base, like a mothership, where it has radar and such. It can track like the movements of any aircraft in the area. That could work for a military A380, because now you have this giant plane, 2 decks, and it can probably spot an aircraft. Like its radar can probably be right there in New York and probably track something that's taking off in Spain at that point. It's really big. It's huge. It's giant aircraft.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess I wish that they would have made like an A380 Air Force One. I get that it has to be like an American manufacturer, because they literally like watch it being built every step of the way. You can't have any electronics being put in the walls. You can't. It's got to be. Yeah,
it's got to be American, because Americans don't betray Americans usually, except for the Civil War.
Asterisk. But like, God, I wish they had done an A380 Air Force One. That would.
Well, the 747 did have ideas for a double deck variant, so they could have just built that and then copy that.
If anyone would do it, it'd be fucking Trump.
Yeah, he's taking those eight eyes and turning into Air Force One. The variants have already being manufactured at the Boeing facilities.
Really?
Heard. Yeah, I heard that that Boeing has already gotten on to making the next Air Force One. They're just making the white bland white paint. They haven't added any new liveries, but it's just a bunch of 747-8 eyes that are modified to act as Air Force One, that are just sitting around being made at the Boeing plants, waiting for Trump to be like, okay, time to build this thing.
Yeah.
Time to get this thing in the skies.
I swear to God, if Trump changes the livery, I will go protest in Washington. Nothing else will get me out there.
The traditional livery has
so
been
majestic. It's
50s.
amazing, but it's just amazing. It's so majestic. The Air Force One livery is It's beautiful. Trump's
And then
proposal
the
looks like a
one
goddamn.
looks like a knockoff British Landor livery.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking. It looks like a. Looks like a Super Savers airline, like, you know.
It looks like an airliner, not the plane that houses the president of the United States.
Yeah, you gotta keep the livery.
Yeah.
But I
would love to see the aircraft as a new, different one, because the current one is a Dash 100. So that's like the first generation of the 747s.
Really?
So. Yeah, it's the variant was the VC-25 was based off a 747-100, which was the first line of 747s. So there's the 100, the 200, the 300, the 400, and the 8.
Oh Jesus! So it is outdated.
Yeah, so that aircraft really outdated because it's the first line of the 747 that was like made in the 1970s. So it would definitely like to see a 8, which was made like 10 years ago, being used as Air Force One, but no livery changes, please.
Yeah, please, no livery changes. I didn't know it was based off that old of a 747. Damn, that thing's antique. Well, it's not an antique. It's serviced better than anything else in the world, but
yeah. But yeah, it is really much of a relic.
Well, yeah. When's the new Air Force One going to be delivered?
Undetermined, really. It's really just how long Trump stays in office, which doesn't look like it's going to be much longer.
Yeah, I hope he fucking brings it in.
Maybe last second, like just before he leaves the office, his like last order is just, okay, the 747-8s are ready. I'm just going to put them out, and then but before he can put on the livery, he's.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they have to be 747s and not A380s, because you want something that there are a million of.
Yeah.
So no matter what country you go to, there's a 747 somewhere lying around or on the tarmac
or part of one at least.
Well, that's what I mean. You can go you're the goddamn military. It's basically having like repairs on every continent. Like you have them everywhere, and they can be flown anywhere. So let's say you don't have repairs, you can just tell whoever, Delta, United, be like, bring a 747 here. Like, we're going to cannibalize it. Like, so you can do that. So you're sort of, by the more of them that exist, and 747s are everywhere, you're increasing the safety of the Air Force One, because you now have these backups everywhere. Mm-hmm. You know, it's
like you can go to like airports like Marana, Victorville, all those areas. They have scrap yards where they have old 747s. They have 400s out there. They don't have any 8s yet because, of course, they literally just started. So, of course, they're not going to be starting to scrap them. But they have 400s. They got 200s. They got 100s, and at Miranda they even have the 300. Mm-hmm. Really rare boy.
Really?
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of 747s just waiting around to get something done. Yeah. So yeah, the Air Force can be made into a new aircraft.
Do you think? They won't do? I don't know. I could see Air Force One putting on like the what's the GE9?
The GE9X.
I could see Air Force One throwing on 4 of those. I mean, just for redundancy.
The 747 is big enough that can only have 2 of those GE9Xs, and it would work. It would work better.
So why not put 4 on for redundancy? You know,
that would be overpower. I think the wings would just go. The fuselage would just be left by itself on the tarmac as the wings go off into the horizon.
But what about something like what if you had an A380 cargo variant?
Yeah, the A380.
You could put 4 GE9s on them. Shit, man,
the A380 is actually big enough that on its base engine it can only have 2. It can work with 2 on the engines it currently has.
Yeah,
that's how big this A380 is, with those wings that are meant to be for a bigger aircraft. So it can have 2 engines. It can do better as a 2-engine aircraft. It doesn't have as longer range though, because it's only 2 engines.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah, but imagine putting 4 GE9s on that thing, selling that as like military transport.
Yeah, I wonder if the GE9X will be sold for the military. Like, probably be some. I mean,
if they want it, they'll get it.
I mean, the KC-76, which is just a 767 that was recently modified to be a tanker aircraft for the military, just came out. So there's a possibility for the 777 to be put into military service.
Wait,
I mean, if
there's a new tanker?
Yeah, the KC-76. Boeing turn their 767s into tankers.
I didn't know that.
It's called. You did? Oh. Okay, it's been up for a while.
Oh Jesus!
I went to the Boeing plant like a few years back, and I saw one of those being tested out there. They had like 3 of those at the Boeing plant up in Washington, and then down here near where I live, in the desert area up north of Los Angeles, they're still testing those KC-76 or is it 46? I don't know. They're still testing those planes out there in the desert with testing missions and stuff.
Oh,
you can see them on the flight trackers.
Oh Jesus! I didn't know that.
Yes, I think they're starting to put them into service like this year or next year, like the 2020s. They're going to be the year for the KC-76 to be put into service.
Now, what is the benefit of putting them into service over the KC-135s?
Well, first of all, the KC-135 is from the 50s, so...
I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that.
You got to play that it's super outdated, because it's literally a 707.
Oh, Jesus.
And actually, the 707 is actually younger than the KC-135, because the KC-135 came first, then they modified the KC-135 for a airliner, as in the Dash 80, then turned it into the 707. So but the KC-130 is super outdated, so the 767 is meant to replace that with a more modern aircraft that can still do the range and capability of the KC-135, probably even a bit better in some scenarios.
What is the range on the 135? Because I feel like you don't need them to go so much as you just need them up.
It's just like, during combat missions, airfields are kind of a small amount, so you need to kind of get them somewhere so you can refuel fighters that are over enemy combat. But I think they have I think they can cross the U.S. and still have a lot of fuel left. I think that here. I can always search it up. Yeah. That's what the internet's for. This is why I'm glad we have the internet.
Yeah.
Range of the
KC-135 Strato tanker.
Okay. 1,503 miles. Look right there.
Okay.
So it has some range. It can get somewhere really fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think they're ever going to try to think they're going to take another shot at nuclear powered airplanes like the MB-36?
I mean, I feel like that was a really kind of cool but crazy idea. I don't know why exactly did they stop.
I think it was the shielding. I think it kind of made it not. I could see it though for like the E-4B Night Watch or the 747 or the Air Force One. Something that like when shit hits the fan, you want that fucker in the air for like 3-4 days on end.
The E4s and the VC-25 with tanker help can still stay up aloft for 72 hours. So
but wouldn't you? I mean, if you're using that capability, chances are shit's hit the fan. 9/11.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you not? If shit's truly hit the fan, I'm thinking that I'm a general. You don't even want to have to worry about refueling it. You just want to. Yeah. You just want to kick on the reactor and be like,
nuclear engines is nuclear. When you're for a regular engine, you just plug in the nozzle, wait there for like 5 minutes. Oh, look, my car is refueled. Take it out. When you're doing with nuclear cars, you got to take the entire engine out and put in a new one.
Yeah.
The entire engine has to be removed. So that's the main. I guess this is the main problem with nuclear powered aircraft is you're flying the plane. Oh, we're out of nuclear fuel. We land. We take the entire engine out and replace it with a new one. That's going to be really costly and really dangerous to move an entire new engine into a plane.
Well, the MB-36 didn't actually run off of its nuclear power plant. It ran off of its its normal engines.
Yeah.
And
the propellers, of course, are powered by.
Everything
normal.
was.
It's just kind of
on the MB-36. All of it was powered by conventional fuel. They just put a nuclear reactor on it. So what if you could put an emergency nuclear reactor on the E-4B or the 747 or Air Force One, and when like shit hit the fan, you could be like, all right, flip on the reactor. So, like,
I feel like it'd definitely be have to be a situation where you have to remove it every now and then, because I don't think you want to have a nuclear reactor just sitting in a plane that barely gets used. So that nuclear reactor is going to be sitting in that. Because if shit hits the fan, which doesn't happen a lot in the U.S., because as we know, not a lot happens. Like the most previous one, 9/11, of course, but like the one before that was probably like in the 70s and such. So that engine won't be used much. So
but you'd want that capability.
So it would be possible. I just say probably have a way that you can just, like, if something happens, they would just go chunk. It would just quickly take off. It's just
but what if
some sort of modular kind of.
I get you, but you got to think. Air Force One took off from that Florida airport on 9/11, and it didn't go to DC. Yeah. So when shit hits the fan, it's gonna hit the fan with no warning. If it's a modular thing that you add on, well, you better hope that modular thing is stored at every single airport, or otherwise you're not gonna have it. You know. So
this is the whole problem about nuclear engines. It's the radiation.
Yeah, that little thingy.
If nuclear power didn't have radiation, all our problems would be solved at this point. We would be using nuclear power for everything.
Yeah,
it's just radiation.
That pesky little thing, radiation.
Yeah. Nuclear engines beautiful. Nuclear power is beautiful, except for radiation. It doesn't even cause any pollutants. The only thing it causes is radiation.
Yeah, which will fucking kill everyone. Hey, Dean, let's go for another 11 minutes. And then I'll call it, because I got a plan for my next one.
Awesome.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, they clearly are the most effective thing to use, because we use them on submarines and goddamn aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't want them on every 747, but I mean, at Air Force One, I feel like you'd want one.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I feel like you'd want one.
I feel like fusion energy is kind of the better solution, because
but
infinite power that has like no drawbacks. Sign me up.
Yeah, but we also can't nail it down.
Yeah,
we've been trying. It's always been 40 years away. It's always 1950. They said it was 40 years away. 1980. They said it was 40 years away. They still say by 2050 we'll have it.
Maybe they're, like you said with the F-117. Maybe it's been in active service for quite a while. Like maybe some of those Apollo missions brought back some of that moon dust, and they somehow made a fusion reactor in like the White House or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I feel like if you had a fusion reactor, you wouldn't want to keep it classified for military advantage, because the true military advantage would be to make it abundant and become independent of power, become energy independent. That's true military force, isn't keeping a fusion reactor for your plane, but instead being like, fuck you, Middle East, we don't need your oil anymore. That's true that's true military power, you know? That's what I think it would be. It's, I don't know. Do you think there's a military space station that we don't know about? Not a satellite, but like a military, like a classified space station.
Ooh, that would be hard to keep it secret, because space is so easily accessible. There. Yeah,
now, like, if you had some camouflage,
the ISS.
Yeah, you can track it.
You can see that with a good enough telescope. People are looking at the stars all the time.
You can see with the naked eye. If they're going to find
some secret space station, it probably would have been found by now. There'd probably be photos everywhere of just this weird space station that is not the ISS hovering in space, and they're like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
It would have to be like invisible for it to work.
What if there was like an active camouflage?
Yeah, I mean, telescopes use mirrors. So if you have something that can like negate reflectance, it would work technically. Think about it.
Yeah, I just like to think that there's like a military space station, like
maybe there's like a secret attachment to the ISS that no one knows about. It's just
there. On the rear side.
Maybe the government just says it's fuel, but every now and then when that X-37 flies by, it drops off some military stuff into that little little secret compartment.
Yeah, but I think the way to do the military space station is you'd put up like a satellite, like your normal spy satellite.
Yeah.
And it would just be a normal spy satellite, and you would attach the actively camouflaged cloaking to the military space station. So it'd almost be like if you could like make your entire car invisible except the hood ornament. You just see the hood ornament. So you you just see a satellite and be like, oh, it's just a satellite. That's what people are seeing. But in reality, there's just this like massive like 100-man crew space station.
That would actually be really cool to see, though.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, you have a. First of all, I want to find out if you can actually have a mirror negating technology. That would be cool in the first place, because to block out mirrors so you can have that space station open in the first place. But just seeing this, having the space station exist, that would be really interesting to have an entire military space station that no one knows about, and it's a giant one, and it looks like a little satellite, just a little baby satellite.
Yeah, I mean, what a better like command post to have, than
in space.
Exactly. Yeah, good luck hitting it. This thing would have a ton of fucking thrusters on it. So it could maneuver.
And it would definitely, like the Soviets would have like an anti-air gun just strapped to it. Just like as soon as the missile's inbound, just bam.
Yeah.
And then it goes.
How fucking crazy is that the Soviets actually had a goddamn anti-aircraft gun on their satellite or on their space station? That's insane. That's insane.
The Soviets were pretty much insane, to be honest. Yeah. With their designs, they were just crazy about it.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that like China doesn't have that same like, I don't know, like like Soviet military. Like you could always count on the Soviets to be ridiculous. China, you couldn't.
I think China during the communist reign back in the 60s, all that stuff was being copied off of Russia. Like if you think about their interceptors were just fatter versions of the MiG-21. It was mostly just knockoff Russian aircraft, knockoff Russian materials. It was not like their tanks, the Type 62. It's just a T-55 with a different label. So the China is pretty much a big factory, but isn't really good as a laboratory.
Laboratory, so, Dexter's lab, laboratory. Yeah.
You can't. They don't really make that much stuff on their own. They just mostly make stuff.
Well said. Do you think? I feel like it would be an intelligence operation and then feed China some like bad designs, wouldn't it? Maybe that's what the F-35 is. That's why we're selling the F-35, because we know China's going to buy one from one of these nations. Maybe we know that it's a shitty plane, so we're like, what?
Japan's right across from China.
Exactly. Like, why?
I think South Korea is actually buying some of the F-35s as well. So right there next to China is a bunch of F-35s.
Yeah,
I think they're already started on making some of their own knockoff Gen 5 fighters. Yeah. Right now they're making the knockoff F-16. If you ever heard about that, it was like called like the F or something. It's just an F-16 but smaller and holds 2 people or something. But it's made in China. So it's like the F-16 but Chinese. It's really hilarious that China just did this. But they're definitely going to make a knockoff F-35 sometime soon or something like that. A knockoff version of the American stealth fighters.
Well, they already have I posted it in FunnerHistory a while ago. China's making their B-2 knockoff.
They also have that J-20. Yeah. Which is kind of like a knockoff YF-23 in a sense.
Yeah.
It's really weird that J-20. It's like nothing. It's like no other fighter. So there's nothing to really compare it to.
I saw some great comments. It was on a YF-23 documentary. The top comment was like, instead of like, this is what happens when you bring a knife to a gunfight, it was like, this is what happens when you bring a 6th generation fighter to a 5th generation contract. Yeah, dude, that YF-23 I love that. I love the YF-23. It's so beautiful.
And it's just, and just like the F-22, but just kind of a better aircraft in itself.
Yeah.
Maybe relating back to the whole smokescreen, maybe they are producing YF-23s.
I hope that's what they've been doing with the F-35 money.
They have the YF-12. That was a fighter that produced for the Air Force. That was just an SR-71. It was saying that it was a failed design, but they made multiple and kept on flying it for like many years until it got put in stores like the rest of the SR-71s. So, and it even worked with NASA for a little bit. So it wouldn't be that unlikely. There's probably still some YF-23 still flying around. Makes sense.
I fucking hope so. All right, Dean. Let's wrap this bitch up. Thanks for coming on, my dude. It'll be
fun today.
What?
It was definitely fun today.
Fuck yeah, dude. Do it again. You're as always, you're always welcome on, man. We'll post it in it's gonna take most of the day to upload, but I'll link you when it's up.
Okay.
TPC 20. TPC 20. www.buckedup.com. Get 20% off your entire order. Yeah. All right, man. Peace.
All right.
Thanks for doing it, bud.